Because my tana can you hold me with a la line Kaleo. They want to hear worry. Because my labor only one school and carry. They won't eat me on lelo. My kena only one offer. And now for the nobody want for me, I will see you. But care for me, you will carry. I just money my business. They try let need you water. Enemies they won't see me in poto. Girl and Chenley will kill me soko. They just want me to die, bolala. Oh, need you water. Enemies they won't see me in poto. Girl and Chenley will kill me soko. They just want me to die, bolala. My blessing rap ya like plenty, but cool as sardine, plenty like cartoon with jalona. It's in the heart, the boss in the medulla, oh yeah. Blessing can follow me, all of my people let me. Because my eye clean clipper can fight for me, like can fight for me, yeah. Blessing can follow me, all of my people let me. Because my eye clean clipper can fight for me, like can fight for me, yeah. Oluwa, Baba, you cover my mama, pray for me. You're just waiting, see. And I see nothing. When your belly see me, ask for me, you not see me. Because my tana can't hold me with a la line Kaleo. They want to hear worry. Because my labor only one school and carry. They won't eat me on lelo. My kena only one offer. And now for the nobody want for me, I will see you. But care for me, you will carry. I just money my business. They try let need you water. Enemies they won't see me in poto. Girl and Chenley will kill me soko. They just want me to die, bolala. Oh, need you water. Enemies they won't see me in poto. Girl and Chenley will kill me soko. They just want me to die, bolala. I tear them freeze. Joy allow me to breathe. I'm living my life with ease. That lippy, and I ain't no competition. Oh, freeze. You believe money. I'm living my life with ease. My kena only one offer. And now for the nobody want for me, I will see you. But care for me, you will carry. I just money my business. They try let need you water. Enemies they won't see me in poto. Girl and Chenley will kill me soko. They just want me to die, bolala. Oh, need you water. Enemies they won't see me in poto. Girl and Chenley will kill me soko. They just want me to die, bolala. Oh, need you water.
RG on the microphone.
Ooh, MD.
Asking boy for na babe, yeah. Most of these guys wanna be me, but they don't know how I'm feeling. So many things that I see, if I need the road to my destiny. I just wanna pull up the best in me, and I pay for to the people that invest in me. So many enemies, so many frenemies. Yeah, then stage, yeah, you got my man. We are seen no man, but my brother man taking tears for my eye. You wanna hold me down, you got me like ja. We are seen no man, but my brother man still want to judge me. They want to judge me, let us say the pervert. You wanna hold me down, I can see me down. Nobody fit to run my race. If you cross my lane, you can know my grace. We manless, I'm not making bail. Yeah. Nothing you do that will bother me. Nothing you do that will panic me. Yeah. Nothing you do that will stress me. Cause I give it all to Jah. We are seen no man, but my brother man taking tears for my eye. You wanna hold me down, you got me like Jah. We are seen a man, but my brother man still want to judge me. They want to judge me, let us say the pervert. You wanna hold me down, I can see me down.
producer.
Yeah.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jamal Kamara, joining you from live from the city of Manchester. Tonight with me, we want to welcome you once again to the Bottom Line Liberia live discussion. Tonight from all the way in Manchester, it's Jamal. And I'm with me tonight, I offer my colleagues a full house, September 2nd, 2025, Tuesday. Is that the first Tuesday of the month, gentlemen? I want to say welcome to my colleagues, Linfa Egon Guer from all the way in Norway, Paul, the Lord Children from the city of King James in London, Mr. Maurice Yankuba Dole, who also lives in Manchester, UK. Gentlemen, welcome to tonight, Bottom Line Liberia. Linfa?
Yeah, we want to say good evening to all of our viewers and listeners, friends all around the world. And let me welcome the team. We are full on the set, so it's a full house tonight. Probably Francis is going to be joining us. But let me say welcome to each and every one of us, and whatever occasion it is today, birthday, celebration, wedding anniversary, or if you're planning to get married, whatever you're doing, we want to say congratulations and we wish you well. But if it is a side note, we also want to say we are with you in spirit. So if you're joining us from far and near, make Bottom Line Liberia your home. We are here every Tuesday and Friday, 7 o'clock Liberian time, 8 o'clock UK time, and 9 o'clock Central European time. But sooner or later, we'll be changing the time, though. So we'll inform you. But guys, welcome.
Thank you. I got my colleagues to introduce themselves. We'll tell you what we have tonight on the menu. Paul, go to the Lord Church to play, the good friend of King Charles. How are you, sir?
Good evening, gentlemen, and good evening to our audience. The Lord Cholope is very well, and I want to say thank God to be among the living, and I'm happy to be in paradise. It's good to see all of you.
Thank you. Mr. Dollar, how do you feel? I know you live around Manchester, so tell her how you feel today. You've welcome once again to the Bottom Line.
Thank you very much. I feel much better today. Thank you.
Mr. Dolly, if you have your monitor on, will you lower your monitor, please? You got a microphone for something on playing?
No, nothing.
Okay, then. Go on.
Yeah, you want me to turn my volume up or what?
Yeah, go on. I'll mute myself. You go on. Go on. Please talk.
You can hear me? Did you guys hear me? If you're not, then I can remove this Bluetooth.
Talk. Look at us and talk.
Mr. Dollar, I think the Bluetooth is the problem. We're not hearing you well. If you can organize yourself, we'll come back to you anyway. Yeah?
Let me change the Bluetooth.
All right, yeah. Thank you very much. Just to take you around, what we got on tonight's show tonight, we have the menu tonight will be Paul will take you through the international highlight. From there, we'll be going straight to Liberia. What's happening in Liberia? We'll be looking at the government just broke ground for the overhead bridge. Now, it's just took off yesterday in Liberia. And we have something like the industry called Liberian has gone green. I don't know what is that. Paul, who is a specialist in the solar energy, we tell them more much about Liberian going green. And also tonight, at the end, we'll talk about GAC. That's the General Auditing Commission, they call it GAC in Liberia. Report hoax finance ministry of $2.8 million fraud. That's another story. That's being unveiled by the Daily Observer newspaper today. And also in the paper, we'll talk about what is happening in Nimba County. The two powerful political heavyweights in Nimba County have some issues. They have some political rivalry right now going on. So I think we'll be talking about that, and we see because Nimba being the biggest electoral college in Liberia, and they gave the decided decision. They gave the decision, the foundation who wins the election in Liberia. When you win Nimba, you win everything. So but now the most powerful people in Nimba right now, political heavyweights, look ahead. So we'll be talking about that tonight. That is that's what happened in Nimba County. So far, that's what we have on the menu tonight. We'll go to Paul. Paul, welcome and take us through what you do have on the international desk.
Well, thank you, Jamal, and thanks to our audience for being with us. Kindly share the show. It will be firing tonight on the international scene. So what we have on international scene tonight, we'll be looking at mainly Africa, the SCO meeting that just held in China. We'll be looking at that. And then we'll also be looking at what's happening around the world. So I'll just jump straight into it. The situation with the earthquake in Afghanistan. We'll talk about that. We'll also there's a breaking news this evening that Belgium is now going to join forces with France and the United Kingdom to recognize the Palestinian state. This month in Washington in New York at the UN headquarters. So those are interesting times for people of Palestine, and this is where I think the news is welcoming. I'll see how America going to react to this because a lot of countries now again ought to recognize the Palestinian state for this cadence to stop. So that's what we'll be looking at. Then other news was 6.0 magnitude of earthquake took place in Afghanistan. And the thing with that, Afghanistan have a lot of mountains, and so some of the area were shut down by the earthquake. So there's the only access to the place is via a helicopter, and people are dying. So this is a situation that is quite concerning. So we'll be looking at that. But the focus tonight, share the show. The focus tonight will be on Africa and Asia, and that will be the focus. So, gentlemen, on the international scene, that's what I have. But when we get to that point, then we'll roll some of the clips.
Right. Thank you very much. So we also give us some a little bit of detail what's happening right now with Putin visit. I think the visit meeting with the Chinese president or not Chinese president, with the Indian Prime Minister.
Yeah, that's the both of them were in. They are members of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization that regarding Asian nation for some security reason it came together, but now they have gone to the extent now for it to be more economic and security as it is. So remember lately that Donald Trump said the war in Ukraine were financed by India, because while India is buying Russia oil, refund the oil, and then sell it around the world. So India is then benefiting from the situation in Russia. But then funnily, the Indians were told by the Americans to buy the Russian oil. And then they will get it and sell it to them because they post-sanction, they didn't want to go direct, so going through third party. Now, because India have benefited so much from this, it have got the U.S. to be very angry. So Trump is putting this 50% tariff on India. So India is India and China had this bitter issue with land dispute. They have not been on good terms, but Trump had now made it interesting that India, Russia, and China are now joining that force. And the Shanghai Cooperative Group, we play the clips, is now that group have 4 big nuclear power that among them. And these guys are threatening now to do something. So the West now is calling them what they used to call Saddam Hussein, the axis of evil, right? So this is a new label on the Shanghai state. So we'll look at that. But before, I want to show the thing about, so we'll end up with Africa on this, but this is quite interesting. This one will really get Donald Trump to be what we call pissed off. Watch this clip for about a minute.
Continuing coverage, and that image sort of defines what is happening there in Tianjin. It's a major reset in the diplomatic alignments that are happening in India and around our region, maybe infused by a dose of Trump pain because of the tariffs. But that picture of Prime Minister Modi and President Putin traveling in the same car, much like President Trump and President Putin traveled in the same car ahead of their Alaska summit. Now, just ahead of their bilateral meeting on the sidelines of the SCO summit in Tianjin, Prime Minister Modi and President Putin traveling in the same car to the destination where their bilateral meeting is going to happen. That meeting has been delayed by over an hour, but huge shifts happening in Tianjin. This will have big consequences, not just for this region, not just for these three countries involved, India, China, and Russia, but certainly will have repercussions in wider Asia. And also, there will be consequences that the White House will be very, very closely monitoring. You could argue that...
So, you know, when Trump went to Alaska, was it Alaska, right? I mean, Putin went.
Yeah.
So this is what the war is tending to. So who is your friend now? This is where the friendship come in, getting very interesting. But that is the meeting that was held in China 2 days ago. And Putin actually asked the Indian Prime Minister to take a ride in his own car, because the Russians, the American, the president traveled with their own vehicle. So this what happened, and this thing is getting to Trump and the West now. So let's go to the main video and then we can discuss it. And I want you to see. So the thing about this conference, the thing about this summit that they went to, this summit is now becoming the issue of the West. How does the West cope with this Asian nation? And after this, I want us to compare this to Africa as well. Why is Asia and Europe, Americas are going far, and Africa is not thinking the way these people thinking? So we want our audience to also chime in on this. This is quite important that is chime in. So this is the summit that was held in China. It is quite interesting. So let's see if we can dive into it quickly.
Trump believed his tariffs on India might make Narendra Modi think twice about doing business with Russia. Then seeing the Indian leader holding hands with Vladimir Putin, having a laugh with him and Xi Jinping, might suggest his plan has backfired. Perhaps the joke they shared was even at the expense of the US president. It felt at times like Trump was the elephant in the room at this regional security summit. He was not mentioned by name, but seemingly alluded to in references to bullying and a Cold War mentality. Host Chinese President Xi spoke of a turbulent world.
We must promote a correct historical perspective on World War II and oppose the Cold War mentality, block confrontation and bullying practices.
President Putin was focused on the war he is fighting today, using his opening address to declare the war in Ukraine was started by an uprising sparked by the West.
This crisis arose not as a result of Russia's attack on Ukraine, but as a result of the coup d'etat in Ukraine, which was supported and provoked by the West.
The Russian leader said an understanding had been reached with Donald Trump that might pave the way to a resolution. But he also doubled down on his NATO security concerns and claims on regions of Ukraine. President Trump had suggested that after Alaska, Vladimir Putin's next step would be a meeting with President Zelensky. But instead of making progress towards peace in Ukraine, the Russian leader has come to China for an extended visit, embraced by regional partners who offer him legitimacy and no demands to end the war. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization has been described as the scariest grouping of nations in the world. You might not be familiar with the China-backed bloc, but its members include 4 nuclear powers and anti-Western Iran and Belarus. This was China's showcase of an alternative to what was called the obsolete Europe and North American-centric world. Debbie Edward, ITV News.
So, they call them the nations are scary. Because
did you hear me now, Claire?
Yeah,
everything okay?
Yes.
All right.
So
I'm gonna mute myself.
These are the nations, they call the nations are scary because why? These are forces that have come together that the West cannot stand, so they now label them the access of evil. Gentlemen, you watch the video. You're seeing this. What is happening? The SCO nation are trying to form their own bank, and China has now put up 4 billion of their money up front to have their own bank. So these guys want to destabilize the dollars. They're going for the dollars big time. So, Gemma, Padole, what your take? I know Linfa will be coming on soon and he will have a say on this.
Yeah, well, let's give Mr. Dolly the chance to speak because he was struggling to come. Mr. Dolly?
Yeah.
Please tell her if you want to say something on this on the international scene. So for now, we got Linfa. What do you think? What you're talking about right now with the Prime Minister of India meeting Russian President Putin?
Basically, did you guys hear me clear? That's my concern right now.
We say yes, Padole. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, okay. Basically, the decision that people taking is a clear indication that people need to be independent in life. They should start having one say so, one say all. That should be abolished, and people should think the way they see things. But if someone want to portray himself as a dummy god, and whatever he say, people should go by that. I don't think that is the best option today in the world. More especially the three people that just met. They are powerful people in the world. So they can do things on their own without even depending on someone else. What should we dictate to them? I don't see it to be any bad decision that they guys are taking. That's what I see so far.
Okay. Thank you, Padole. Linfa, what say you? This is getting scary according to the West. They call them the scary nation that put together because you have 4 nuclear forces with rest of the Asian country. What say you? Is it the West now is it this time that America now the power that they have? Is it time that the empire fall? Because what is happening in Asia is quite interesting. The West is now confused.
This is very repetitive. We keep repeating the same thing over and over, and we have said this thing before. I personally say on the show, and I stand by my word, that America is a crumbling society right now compared to the America that was some 20 years back. Remember, America was not that great in the 50s and 60s. Trust me, America was not that great. America actually became great around the 70s, coming to the 80s. That's when America started building. I saw some pictures of America, certain states, some states in America in 1950 something, 40 something. They were battle. New York in the 40s. New York was very battle. It was just in short time, America came up. And at that time, countries like China, they were way down. So at that stage, America felt that they were the only China in the town, right? They were the big guys, they were booming but things have changed. China has become superpower on all fronts, economic fronts, political fronts, and war front. China is a power to reckon with. Russia has been there. Russia is a superpower to reckon with. Then you got countries like India. For them, what they depend on is technology and their population, and they are also superpower. So you see, the power is drifting away. It's like, there is a story about. I mean, not a story, but it's a reality with a lion. When a lion is born, young lion, between 5 to 10 years, they are ruling. They go in pride. Because lions were always born, I think, two. So they get a pair, either 2 males or 1 male, one female, and they are pride. They are the king of the jungle. Or have you seen how lions die? The king of the jungle, they die poor, they die sick, they die crippled. That's America. They rose up and they are crumbling.
Yeah.
So when they see these other countries coming, it's like they're in a dream world. We supposed to be there. Why are other people coming? So the power is drifting away gradually, and so they tremble. It's like in the time, then you see all guys coming up. You are like, so, and then you are aging at the same time. America is aging, but as of state, it's aging. Because it's going to 200 years old.
And they're not changing their policy. So,
yeah.
And the other people coming up.
And their policy of domination to dominate is getting old in people's eye. Whereby people were afraid when they hear they need America. Oh, that a powerful country. But then you see other countries getting powerful. So why can't we switch to them? Why would we be one of these? Why America? So they're getting old in age, they're getting old in style, they're getting old in government, just everything, idea, everything that. So the other new countries, they are attracting people. Who will know today that country like what do you call it? India. Indian people that will just nobody will hear about them. What would we say hear about Indian people that they get blessing? They be one team that they not zero.
The story.
Authority about India, that all we knew. But who knew that India will be in space today? China in space, Russia in space. Then in America, never went to the moon. That's not a lie. I get this call if you do already that lie. America never step on the moon. That's not that simulation. That's yeah, that's true. They never step on the moon. That big lie. Big lie. So you see all the lies coming up. So now America is breaking down, and I think their worry is just starting. And so in the next 10 years, we'll be realizing the total effect on the formation of the BRICS nation and the SCO and all the other small groups. Wait, Africa get ready because Africa is a powerhouse for all the energy and everything. So when African countries become like Burkina Faso, at least 10 African countries become like.
Don't drag because we're coming to the African thing. Don't push.
Oh, okay,
don't
yeah, let me see
don't
my
rush
way.
to coming to the African thing. Jamal, the video told us there are 4 heavyweight nuclear power: Pakistan, India, Russia, China, the inner group, and the West is labeled then now the nation of scary, which is the nation how they label Saddam Hussein the axis of evil. So the West are seeing now the group coming together. They're getting so scared now they label them the nation of scary. They call why Iran also part of this group. What say you, Jamal? You muted.
The thing is, like, Linford just capped it all. When you're in a position like you dominate the world as a superpower, the big brother, so far at some point, you should also know that at some point you're not very careful. The small ones are learning to catch up with you. And that what has happened in the state of America, more especially has to also do with leadership. The leadership that are in power right now, they kind of much more self-centered leadership. So America, that's why America has a lot. If you go to America, I think most of you have been to America on this platform, you will find out that there are a lot of poverty around there. People living on full coupons, people living on these to survive. There are a lot of streets, we call them in UK here, rough sleepers, people that are homeless people allowed in America. But America leaves that and just spend billions of dollars out there to help people that can afford, to help people that are on medications, like the more especially the AIDS, HIV vaccine, the COVID issues, the Ebola. They took money, they spending other humanitarian projects across the world. With despite their own problems, that make them be better. If you cut those things off, and cut those things, you say, let me concentrate on my own. I don't care who they are. Now, what happened? You gave in what you don't know. You giving other people the chance to grow, to fight you, and you give them more freedom. But what they didn't know before, all those handouts they were giving to the people out there, they had a chance to manipulate them. But once you stop the handout, you can't manipulate them anymore. They will find a way to stand on their own feet. What Linford just said, I want to just re-emphasize that. The guys are catching up with America. America need to watch out. But like Asia, 3 countries, bigger countries in the world today: India, China, Russia. Those 3 countries are very powerful, and you can't mess with them. They have nuclear power. They can also have their own nuclear power if they want. Economically, they are powerful. If they work together, you cannot conquer them. So, what is happening in America? What I can just say, America needs to watch out. The leadership is not really giving America the chance to become the big brother of the world, but in order to expose them. There are a lot of issues America has, but America's, is going to be exposed if they don't go back and take their position as the big brother of the world, and help out people, and also take control. They are losing control of being the big brother and the war police at the moment. So because of the leadership, and I know what I'm talking about. Though I don't want to repeat what Lee was saying. I just want to add to what you just said. So this, you need to watch out. If they don't go back and think twice, that's it. The old guys are catching up with them very fast.
The guys are catching up with them very fast. So let me go to the other one quickly before we transition to Africa. Now, this is Sky News came up with of graph. Since the war started, Russia, China, and India, they benefited from the war more than the people that put sanction on Russia. And this is quite interesting. The country that have over 27,000 sanctions is benefiting from the war. The one who put sanction is losing. How does that work? So let's listen to this Sky News. It's quite interesting, and then we'll jump in it before we move to Africa.
What are the long-term economic consequences of war in Ukraine? It's worth just kind of bearing that in mind, because we're at one of these pivotal moments where other things are happening as a result of what's happening in Ukraine. Now, as you know, okay, so you've got Europe, you've got the NATO members, most of the NATO members there, and over there, there's this other grouping that most people won't necessarily have heard of, certainly in Europe, which is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Now, the members of this are to be found over here, as you would expect. So China is really the leader of it, or at least set it up. You've got Russia as well, which is a part of it. You've got Mongolia and Afghanistan. They're observer members as well. Belarus recently joined. But perhaps most interestingly, India is a part of this as well. And if you look at the kind of global map, you see that whereas you've got kind of NATO over here, the European Union there, this is an alternative bloc, isn't it? It's an alternative bloc with some economic power, some real economic clout that you'll see in just a moment. And the backdrop, obviously, they're meeting in Tianjin, there it is. But the backdrop for this is that you're seeing a big divergence in terms of economic relationship between the West and those other nations. And you get a sense of this when you look at exports of goods from the G7, that's the dark blue line there, and China to Russia. They were more or less rising in lockstep with each other before the invasion of Ukraine, and then look at what happened next. So the red line, China, that continues to go even higher. The dark blue line there, the G7, basically goes down to zero. Look at it, it's really clear in terms of the economic destiny of these two nations. And it's even clearer actually when you drill down into just particular sectors. This is transportation equipment, so stuff like planes, trains, automobiles from China. That was basically zero before the invasion of Ukraine, and then look, afterwards, it goes through the roof. Totally unprecedented levels. So that's China sending goods to Russia. How about Russia sending goods out? Well, a lot of that is now going to India. So India, before the invasion of Ukraine, didn't receive much in the way of oil. This is showing you where oil coming to India, so crude oil, came from. It came mostly from Saudi Arabia, from Iraq, from the US, and from others as well. Russia's the red bit there, not much at all before the invasion of Ukraine. Then after the invasion, look at this. Now, Russia is one of the biggest contributors of oil to India, and obviously that gets refined in Indian refineries and then sent out around the world, and that is something that Donald Trump has said he's not happy about at all, and he's threatening to impose secondary tariffs on India. What does that mean in practice? Well, this is showing you tariff levels for different nations. So the tariffs that the US is imposing on various different nations, you've got Malaysia, you've got Cambodia, Vietnam there. There's India, that's 25%. China is even higher at the moment, and then Myanmar and Laos. But if you impose secondary tariffs on India, look at this bar. That goes up to basically 50%, making India pretty much the most tariff nation by the US. And that is something that's worth bearing in mind when you look at this chart as well. Okay, so this is showing you the share of global economy, global economic output, so GDP, accounted for by advanced economies. And that share has gone gradually lower over time, not because we're getting worse off. The amount of income generated is still going up. It's just the other part of the global economy is getting richer. And that, if you look at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, so that map I showed you a moment ago, here are the members of that. Tot it all up, and they, by 2030 or so, are likely to account for basically 50% of global GDP when you look at purchasing power parity, which is a pretty important comparison. It really just shows you the changing face of global economics. These nations, that bloc, is now accounting for a massive amount of economic heft. And at the same time, one of the other transitions that we're seeing right now is, well, this is quite momentous here. If you think about these two nations, India, there's Modi, there's China, President Xi, these two nations have been at economic loggerheads for decades. And so there's this prospect of, with higher tariffs on India, is India being pushed towards more of a rapprochement, an economic relationship with China that no one would have necessarily foreseen before war in Ukraine broke out?
Linford, it's getting interesting day by day. About 2035, this so-called Western Alliance called NATO, that group, they will be backing the group we just showed. That is what's happening now. It's just minimal, meaning these guys are catching up on a fast pace. But then what happened? This is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. On the other end is the BRICS nation that are going to have their own summit too. So you see how this is turning out to be. You get a BRICS, you get a Shanghai, then you get an African on the other side. Interesting time for the Western country. Jamal, let me start with you before we go to Padoli.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paul. The international scene is always a quite interesting thing, and we talk about it because it affects us. Whatever we say here, it has also have an effect on us. The whole world is about economy. Once you control the economy, you control the world. I just spoke about what became America powerful because the dollar is another constant, very stable currency that makes America great. So if these powerful countries come together, you can see the ripple effect is happening. So it's just about these guys knowing the power they can put together if they come together as a group. So, but Paul, is the Europeans are not what it's just kind of at some point it's just hard to explain. At some point, the leadership in Europe also has some issues. Every national government has their own issue, right? And that's another issue they have. So Europe has their own problem. Now they have their own problem. In order to settle their own problem and put it together, and they can't even handle their own problem. They want to show off that they can help Ukraine and get off and make Ukraine better. And not knowing very well that now, we are at a point now they can't draw by anymore, but how can they move forward? And now you see what's happening. So Russia is just relaxing and waiting for the day to come. And they will break up. I don't know the end of Linford said one of those, she said very soon something will happen. And this is what we're leading to right now. Something will happen very soon. We don't know how it's going to end. But Russia is much more relaxed 2 years ago, with a much more in a hasty position, like trying to see and sanction here and there. What sanctions have done to Russia has not crippled Russia. Ukraine is still struggling. I mean, they are getting into a soft tone now than before. So a lot of things coming. Europe is not coming up to stand as a country, or Europe as a nation, to support Ukraine to get to where they want to be. Well, the economic movement is just displayed to us. Therefore, sorry, gentlemen, definitely you can tell me that the way it's going right now, man, I can see this guy will be laughing last. Russia going to laugh last.
Thank you, Jamal. Padole, let's hear you. The thing is, the tide is turning. The Asian countries are pushing her. And now Putin is smiling with Modi and the Chinese president. They just sitting in a corner and just rubbing in Donald Trump's face. And the so-called coalition of the waiting, they might be kicking themselves. Padole, what say you?
Yeah. So as I was saying, I think we talked about this thing here already. And what I said was, there's no way someone who capable of doing things on his own will be a sycophant or puppet to another person, unless the person is stupid. So this country that we are talking about, these are the technology country where they can create things, they do things for themselves, and they got all potential to graduate from any kind of inferiority. So basically, I don't think that these people can easily bow down to the West the way the Africans are doing, because the reason why the Africans are continuing to listen to the West every now and then, including America, is because we are a little bit premature. We are premature. We can't create things for ourselves. We can't manifest anything for ourselves. So everything is looking up to the West to survive in terms of technologies and whatever. But these people are not like that. So we should be expecting them to even do more than this economically, because they can do anything for themselves. They don't have to rely on anyone. So basically, I think that's it.
Okay.
You see, the economies of the world is something that intertwine. People coordinate with one another. So if people coordinate with one another, they make money. But if you isolate yourself from the people, your economy will go down. So that's how I see it to be.
Well,
and these are the countries that were populated. They got human being. When we say human being, you really get it. They got a landman, they got a human being. So obviously, they can grow up their economy very fast.
Linford, what say you, brother? This is the money aspect of it now, that these forces are coming together strongly. And Europe, in particular, that depend on America, they don't know what to say, but to label them as the axis of evil. The countries are evil because when people come together, and then funnily, they stay in China tomorrow, be the parade day. Guess who the Chinese government invited? The rocket man. The rocket man will be there sitting Russia, Putin, and the Chinese president. And what does that tell you, Lipo? The war is getting scary every day of these people.
I always like to talk in parable and tell story, and people don't understand why I do that. I do that to make reference to past things. No, listen. It's just like you in the time you've been doing bad things to people all the time. Then all the people say, okay, send him there thing back. They'll try to form our own group and we'll be teasing him. Because in group, you'll be strong. But alone, he can't do nothing, he can be the giant yourself, but when you look. So this will go back again. America has been the dominating force all the time. And they live like Jima said, I live in America for some time and I go there all the time. Right? The first time I ever went to America, I was surprised. I went on a Saturday evening. The next morning, Sunday morning, we were going to church. We stopped under the rail and I saw people begging for money. I said, my sister opened the window. When I opened the car window, then she threw the coins to women. I said, not even black men, but women. I said, but they get better. She said, you didn't see nothing here. And I went to Philly to Philly.
Begging women.
Even worse. They said, oh, brother, Lord, my man, people living under the bridge. I mean, the whole time. Yeah? So they live all the conditions in America. Then they go kill people they go kill president way in Iraq, another one way in Africa in the name of doing good for the people. Yeah, man, your children hungry. They want come on, you're getting in the hot, you cook it, then you put it in bowl and carry 5 plates, then your children say, now hungry. So that has come the rest of the country that have been suffering under them. Everybody say, okay, let's go on outside now. We power, not superpower, but let's go do our little thing. So now, why is superpower getting a friend? Now, as for the labeling then our European people joining America to call these people axis of evil. Yeah, okay, we are axis of evil. You do your own, we on outside. Nobody should power out their friend. And the last time I told you about in the maritime or in shipping, there is something called the east-west band. I always make reference to because I know how powerful it is. Things that we are using here, the computer are talking on, they're not making it right here in Norway. We can order it. All the things coming from the east. It can be China, it can be Japan, Korea, all the people, they're making something that is sending down here. If these people here, even if very America, they outsource most of their big companies there. Norway, and they got most of the communists there. Support people say, okay, we're stopping everything totally, nothing coming. At least we got a few countries, we can go to Brazil, we can sell, we can go to India, we can sell. India can sell to all, we can sell to Russia. And these are countries that got consumers. India alone, the population, okay, they can consume. And even the Asian countries, some of them are more populated. My own country, Philippines, the last time I checked, their population was 113 million people. So in every room, you got 5 people sleeping in every room. Okay, so they can consume. So this West, they've practically been living on these people in the name of trade, business, technology, everything. So there is absolutely nothing that the Eastern Bloc, all the countries that are going together, there's nothing that they want from the West. Actually, there's nothing. So they can make it on their own. They can trade among themselves. Then what happened to our dollar? We got our dollar, we're depending on, right? When the dollar value drop, well, we get nothing. And America has been stockpiling oil and iron ore and all the things so that when other countries deplete, then they can sell to them. Now it's time for them to start using their own thing. So when the rest of the world will stop in, they will now go in their own coffers and start using whatever they got. But I think they are right. They are the scary countries. They got to be scared of them because these countries are very, very serious countries. As I see them, no weakling among them. They are all strong. They are powerful technologically, financially, economically, and everything. they are powerful.
Thank you on that. I like the way you put it, ethically as well. And you talk about the dollar. We transition to Africa. This will fascinate you guys that Africa now, the African countries now, excluding Liberia, my country, Liberia, excluding Liberia, they don't want to use the dollars anymore. So this is something that we need to look at, Jamal, and I want you guys to keep now transition to Africa from this point. Then we'll be going to Mama Liberia. There's an African Pan-African bank that is established in Africa. It's actually Egypt, but the Africans are just fed up. They fell out using the dollar. So let's listen to this. Maybe Linford, Jamal, and Padole. I want you. This is quite interesting. The Africans decide to dump the dollars. Is they going to happen? Or they just talking?
Well, Africa is making serious strides to break with the US dollar and the West in general. Many of those moves are happening this week. More than 20 African nations are expected to attend the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum that starts today in Russia. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. But first, watch Kenyan President William Samoei Ruto speaking to Parliament this week, announcing that Kenya will start trading in local currencies within Africa and not the US dollar, as they have been doing for decades. And watch the standing ovation that he receives from this announcement.
From Djibouti selling to Kenya, or traders from Kenya selling to Djibouti, have to look for US dollars. How is US dollars part of the trade between Djibouti and Kenya? Why? And we are saying that today, Afri-Exim Bank have given us a mechanism where traders in our continent can trade in their goods and services, and the Africa Exim Bank will settle payments in local currency. That is why Kenya champions the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System that is done by our own institution, the Afri-Exim Bank. Why, members? Why is it necessary for us to buy things from Djibouti and pay in dollars? Why? There is no reason. And we are not against the US dollar. We just want to trade much more freely. Let us pay in US dollars what we are buying from the US. But what we are buying from Djibouti, let's use local currency.
I mean, it seems like the simplest thing, right? Why do they have to buy US dollars in order to buy goods? In fact, Clayton and I, we were traveling recently in Egypt, and we were looking at the menu and we said, why does this Lebanese wine, which is close to Egypt, why is this so expensive? It's $50. And they said because of import trades. So Egypt cannot trade freely with Lebanon, which is just next door, or Jordan, or they have no trade agreements that the European Union enjoys, or the United States enjoys, or other blocs enjoy. Africa has been prevented from doing that. Well, now they are going forward with this system. What he mentions here is Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. It's called PAPSS. It runs through a central bank that has been started in Egypt. It's called Afra-Exim Bank. Doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah, it doesn't flow. They need to come up with a new name.
Now, it is based in Egypt and is shareholder owned. He says it is African owned, but it is also heavily invested in by China. Take a look. This was from 2012, I believe. No, 2019. Says they were receiving $850 million from Chinese financial institutions. Well, Africa has been enjoying Chinese investment for quite some time. The West will tell you this is dangerous. Africa doesn't know what they're doing. They're saying like, oh, you know, these Africans, they don't understand financial products, really.
Right. You got to be scared of the Chinese because they're going to take over everything. They will own you. They will destroy your country. Meanwhile, isn't that exactly what the West is doing?
Right. Well, and also the West benefits from Chinese investments. But we're telling Africans they don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand. I don't think there's anything more racist than that. Like, sorry, you guys don't understand finance. You don't understand that when you're accepting this debt from China, you're really doing your country wrong. But China has been investing in Africa infrastructure for decades. For example, in the Congo, major roads were shelled and destroyed in 1997 by the Rwanda-Uganda-backed army. China repaired those roads in 2010. Now, why would they do that? Here is how Siddharth Kara explained it in his book called Cobalt Red about cobalt mines in Congo. He says that China's dominance in Africa was established in 2000 when President Jiang Zemin proposed the creation of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation to facilitate Chinese investments in African countries. This relationship was billed as a win-win. The Chinese would build much-needed roads, dams, airports, bridges, mobile networks, and power plants across Africa, and in exchange, China would secure access to vital resources to support its growing economy, and that has continued. These roads were built. We're going to hear from a politician who is going to tell us more about that just in a second. Now, Kara, the author of this book, he thinks that Chinese cooperation may not be the best thing for Africa, but not all African leaders feel that way. Just this week, Zambian politician, I'm sorry, it's going to sound terrible the way it comes out of my mouth, Akende Memembe Chundama. I believe that you can't, it's not like Western last names where you can just use one name. The name loses its meaning if you don't say it in its entirety, and it's butchered from me, and I apologize. But she spoke in Moscow this week about how the West has been exploiting Africa for centuries, and Africa is now demanding autonomy, and they feel like Russia and China are totally acceptable partners as a means to this end. Watch.
Africa is a hub for natural resources. It has always been for the West. And now Africa has multiple options. Africa doesn't have to succumb to a bad deal that we get from the Western countries. Africa has choice now. Africa now wants to be treated as equals at the table. And now Russia and China offer that to Africa.
Gentlemen, the war is getting quite interesting. China is now becoming a pain in the neck for the West. You guys watch the video. I will start with Padole, Linford, then we end with Jamal. And before you guys start, there is an economic forum in St. Petersburg. 20 African countries are there, over 140 countries are there to get some sort of funding. Liberia is nowhere to be seen. Because it's Russia, it's not America. Padole, what say you from the video you watched?
Thank you very much. To be honest, there's my view in this African situation. The country that we are looking up to today, China, Korea, South Korea, North Korea, India, and things then 40, 50 years ago, they were down the line. But the thing that popped them up is the technology. They invest heavily in technologies and they begin to be independent. So for Africa to be, because God bless us with a lot of natural resources that the West come for it. You understand? But if we can able to utilize these natural resources with the technologies, knowledge we have, then we will be the king or the queen of the nation of the world. Everybody will be pumping to us. So my advice to all African countries is this: try to focus heavily on technology. For my country, for example, is when you go to our Vira University today in Liberia, the two major students you will see that going there for degrees and whatever, you will see them talking about political science, finance and economy, political science, finance management, political science. My brother, why not go for technologies? Be civil engineer. Why not focus on this thing then? These are the things that can take you from on the ground and put you on a skyscraper. But we have a lot of our brothers going to get their degree in micromanagement, this management, this and that. I don't think that is necessary. Let Africa invest into technology. You see, China right now, China can do everything. So what we need to do as an African nations is send our clever people, go to from school to school, very people. Which one this one is specialized in, which one is clever in. Pick them up, send them to your country. When you want to really learn about health system, to be a good medical doctor, more especially the sickness they call cancer, if you want to really know how to cure it. The people that are very specialized in that is the Cuba. You send our students then to Cuba to learn medical science there, to know about dealing with what they call the cancers and things there and rest of it, and some of the sensitive sickness. They will not stay there. I bet you they will not stay there. When they learn, they will come back to Liberia to work. When they learn, they will come back to Africa. Because what do we get in Liberia, they can get it there. So these are some of the things we need to look at. Send people to China.
Good.
So let Africans,
I like that. Send people to China.
Send people to China. Yeah. Cuba. Let them go learn.
Let them go learn.
And come back home. That's all I can say here.
Before you hold that, let's go learn. China becoming a pain in the neck for the West. They investing everywhere. The Africans now, China and Russia opening a lot of African eyes. Today there's over 140 countries in St. Petersburg for this economic forum that Liberia refused to go because it's not America. But countries that are gone, they'll be getting huge benefit from there. What say you then transition to Liberia when Jema closer and then he take us through to Mama Liberia?
You see, there is this little fear somewhere. Myself, I used to fear it. I agree with people who have that fear as well, knowing what has happened to Africa over the years, but from and by the colonizers. That they came, they took over our continent, they took over us as their properties. When they gave us the so-called independence, we cannot be the so-called independence, and we cannot be independent. Like for France, example, where former colonies of France still pay colonial tax to France. You took me as your slave. I work for you. You colonize me. Then you say I'm free. Then I still pay you for colonizing me when you should be paying me reparation. Okay, so the fear is that these people came, the other colonies came and they took over us. They didn't do anything for us. Okay, we're struggling to get out. Then we get China and Russia then coming again to invest heavily in us and doing good for us. And people say no free lunch. So people are afraid. Maybe China they're doing it for some reason. Like in the last video, they talk about it. That the people are investing heavily into Africa and they may just take over Africa. Well, if that's a fear, I used to have that same fear, but I think my fear is being allayed for one reason. Number one, it's better for the man who did not colonize me to come and help me if he wants to get something in return to get it and go. At least he's helping me and giving me something. But now the man that colonized me and say I'm free and he still holds me, he controls my economy. No. Between the two, I will choose the one that will come and help me and go. At least I'll get something. You understand what I mean? Okay.
Yep.
So I believe that Russia did not colonize any country in Africa, not that I know of. China, I know that the Chinese people were living there during that colonization period because they didn't colonized. So those are two neutral countries that are coming and investing things that our colonial masters should have been doing. I mean, to the point where when I look at Liberia, then I look at all African countries, at least that are developed more than Liberia, I cry in my heart. A big country like America, you say you send your people, the free people you send them, you even send your own people to follow them to come to establish this country. What? And then you don't got shame face to look at the condition of that country. Yeah? But again, if their own people in America themselves are suffering, and they can't do anything for them. So I don't expect them to do anything for Africa or for Liberia. So I think I work on the Chinese. If they can't, the Liberian men always say, when we reach that bridge, we'll cross it. Let them come, let them do what they can do. If they want to take all of us, when time comes, some do not take all of us, some of us still remain free. But at least let us be partners. Let's work together. What we can get from them and what they can get from us, let it be on a fair level, not somebody thinking that they own us and they can own us and own our property and own everything of us.
Yeah. So Jamal, you close on this note and then you take us through to Mama Liberia. The African nation now they want to stop using the dollars. It's something that Rufus said. This is quite interesting. If they put this through, I think it'll be good for the African continent. This dollar that becomes so powerful. If you want to go to Guinea, you got to look for dollars to shopping, to buy things.
Yeah.
Why we can't? You see, so talk to us on this.
Yeah, you see, Paul, the thing about is it all boil down to the leadership in Africa. What makes US dollar a powerful currency because of its stability. There are few factors. People peg their currency to the US dollars. It has to do with its stability. And another thing is trade facilitation. And also, if you also have US dollars, I just want to, what makes it the benefit of why people want the US dollars? Access to global markets. There are other benefits, but if you look at it, there are downside to it, more African countries than the good side. Liberia, over the years, since after the war, we almost mortgage our life to US currency. If you go to Liberia today, I'm just taking Liberia as an example because all the US think people are trading in the US dollar, but in Liberia it's profound to the level that we use US dollar together with a Liberian currency. If you compare things, life is very expensive. There are many disadvantages to that to us as Liberian with the level of our source of income. You see what we call limited currency sovereignty. Because if there's something happening with American exchange rate or policy for a monetary policy, it affects you because you stick with them. You use the dollar. Anything happening in America with the currency, the American dollar, it affects you. Directly affects you. And now your people will not use your currency. You'll be buying things according to the level of the higher the rate of currency in Liberia right now. So the dollars, anything you can't buy anything $5 Liberian anymore. It's nothing. So if you compare Liberian dollar, it has gone so high, and people can't afford. People can't afford to buy. So you can't get anybody $5 US in Liberia to be a gift. They'll say it's nothing. You can't even buy anything. But you take that $5 US, convert it into Naira. It's a lot of money in Nigeria.
Yep.
Because like Nigerians are not converting that, because Nigerians are using local currency. If you compare the teacher salary in Nigeria, that of the teacher salary in Liberia teacher salary is high because Liberians are paying US dollars. So if you pay your money to certain level, not only paying but trading almost 99% in the US dollar in your country like Liberia, with the level of the source of income and other stuff, it's affecting our people. But I don't know what the economists are doing without using Liberian US dollar. In hand trading in Liberia, it's not doing well for our people at this point. I'm not even looking at Kenya. I'm not looking at look at things from the economic point. The people are struggling to survive. This is the reason. If you pay Liberian civil servant like $200, it's not enough for him.
Exactly.
It's not enough for him. If you pay that to Nigeria, why is that foreign teachers are leaving to come to Liberia to teach, or foreign staff are coming to Liberia because of it's the attraction of the US dollars. Go to Liberia, a country with no money, got many banks in most of West African countries. Many banks are opening in Liberia, springing up in Liberia. Banks, what are they in Liberia? Because we got US currency there. And US currency seems to be the most, US dollar is the most stable currency around the world. This is why people use as a reserve. So I'm just giving the reason why we attach ourselves. But if you see the flip side of it, it's not to our advantage. People will say that it's not to our advantage for the level of where we are at the moment in the country. Life has become very expensive for us. You can get a wrap just to eat at any restaurant. We call it takeaway. Walking, grabbing, it's $10 to get a good wrap to eat in Monrovia. Can you pay for that here in UK? No, I can't pay $10. That's £9, almost £8. You can't buy wrap at £8. No, that's too expensive. The maximum you can pay for a wrap here is about £3.
A whole burger, McDonald's, Burger King can cost you £4.
Yeah, the whole McDonald's, the KFC here, we got chicken menu, everything with fries, with French fries, with stuff, even with mice on it, corn on it. Yeah, call you $4.50 US. If you really want something good, you have to go at $7. But not a wrap in any restaurant. Go to any down or whatever restaurant you got in Monrovia. The least you can pay for $10 US. How many person can afford $10 US, man? Come on.
Yeah.
So the currency is not doing good for us. So the economists need to think very good. It has some advantages though. But the disadvantages weigh the advantages. So Liberians, economists, the financial advisors, the leaders, the policy makers need to look into that and help our people and help them and because most of our struggle right now, Paul and Mr. Dollar, Linfo, is we don't look our problems. We want to be who we are not. Liberians enjoying Liberia, we got US dollars. And you know what makes it easy for most people? It makes transactions for most people. If you travel here to go to the US, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to do any exchange rate anymore.
Yeah.
That's the one of the good part of the thing. But then what you don't know, like you spend the same way you spend money in the US, the same way you spend Liberia. It's not going to go down.
It's not helpful for the people in Liberia.
It's not helpful.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's not helpful. It's not helpful at all.
Yeah, so to add to what Jimmy just said, that devalue your local currency.
Yeah, that's correct. And what he's saying also, not only that, because only group of countries that got this local currency that are very in a volatile situation, they fluctuate. So you want to put your money, you pack your money to US dollars, so you stick in anything happen, you fit it, you stay stable. But what do you have to support your currency? What make your money your currency value? Is why you export.
But Gemma, isn't that Liberia is losing because remember in the late 70s, when we were studying kindergarten or elementary school, our parents told us that One US dollar, the Liberian government pay 25 cents for every US dollar. So in a way, we're losing money by using the American currency by paying that 25 cents for every dollar that is used.
Yeah,
Economically, it doesn't make sense.
that's true. It does not make sense because I think Lipa or someone was telling us how much you paying. We pay let's call it fast food. We paying or we paying fast food. I think Lipa was telling us something about fast food. The arrangement. Mr. Dollar. Someone was telling us how the arrangement we made for fast food.
Yeah, that fast food is the collateral.
Yeah,
and so we collateral for.
And so we gaining, we are losing. I'm just going back to why is it that we are gravitating to Asia. Gentlemen, listen. We must be happy for France. I'm sorry, for China. But one thing we are not getting, China can give us everything. One good thing, China is in the West, the Western world. The Asian country and the Western world are not the same. Chinese and Indians and Arabs are not looking to the political affairs of your country. You can do what you want to do with your people. They don't care. They don't care. They just got caught this with them. That's what they're interested in.
Yep.
The West will say, we want human right, want that right, that so-called right. It must be settled. Sometimes
we want you to be gay. So
we'll come to that. What you want to be dudes, but they'll accept you. I must say, want to marry a second wife. No, it's not acceptable. But they will say you can marry your own sex, if you want to. That's fine. That's a different topic altogether. But what I'm trying to say, gentlemen, is this: how do you call it? I'm trying to say the currency, I want to mention something about the direct investment. They call it direct foreign investment. The DFR, direct foreign investment to a country. China, I was talking about China involvement and the West involvement into Africa. What they do, the direct foreign investment, what they will do, we bring in billions, like what they're doing, 800 billion to a country. We'll talk about some kind of overhead bridge, we'll talk about how Chinese are coming to Liberia. They will bring these things to the country. But what we do, before we were born, gentlemen, here, we were on the platform. The West were doing the same thing Chinese were doing.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing exactly the same thing. They were bringing in money. Half of Liberia, I think 20% of Liberian budget is from the US, was from being paid by the US. You know that, guys. Some percentage of Liberian budget was being paid by the US. What they did do up to present, Liberia does not even have a fitting road.
Yeah.
What's happening? Liberia did not have constant electricity. Healthcare is bad. Healthcare delivery is bad. School system is the worst. Now, just recently, you guys talk about here that how many thousand failed the university entrance? The only university in Monrovia, the major university in Liberia, how many thousands of people? How many 7,000 had the entrance, started the entrance, only 2,000 passed. 5,000 failed flat. So the system, 178 years, stayed the worst in Africa. What has happened? So is it like God took it from us? The leaders don't have sense to think what they can do better for our country? Go to look at the neighbors in the Ivory Coast. Look at Ivory Coast, gentlemen.
Maybe Jima, can I ask more thing why you close?
Go on.
Yeah, one of the reasons why that question you asked is very important. Why is it that we can't realize all this money that America has been pumping to us? And the reason why we also depended, especially Liberia, on the US dollar. You see, when they introduced the
what's the name of the money again?
Yeah.
The coin.
The idea was that, yes, we will get our own money and we'll be transacting in our own money. But the question is, how do we get money? Because to go and print that paper is not a money, but it must have something to back it.
Exactly. So to give you money a currency of value. Yeah.
Yeah. So we depend on America for everything, for budgetary support and everything. They ate. This is where they got us. So when America bring out a dollar, if they say 1 million, they get condition attached to that 1 million. Use it this way. So they will turn around and get out of that 1 million, they will get maybe 5 million back. Some kind of way to them. So it just means that we're getting the money. You see it? As we talk, as we speak now, Liberia is heavily indebted to the IMF and the World Bank. Okay? And who provides the money? It's in America. So how can we get out of that? So with the establishment of this usage, I think that's one of the good things that for me Trump did. It will help African countries to now stand on their own. Okay? And so if we start using the dollar and transact in our own currency and tell the Americans, if you want to buy anything or buy in our currency, don't bring that dollar, you're buying our currency. I think that will help us. That will help us because if they bring the dollar, they determine the price of our money to the dollar. So then you see, so we lose.
Yes, I agree. And now to add what you're saying, I want to summarize now, gentlemen. Thank you on the monetary stuff. You all got the news in Liberia. Something is being found in Liberia. You know that, right? One of the most sought after products. I mean, it's being found in Liberia. They say it could change Liberian history. They can change Liberians' life. You never heard about that?
What about the thing that they came out with a few months ago? The president inauguration, he told us lots of things that they discovered in Liberia.
Lithium has been formed in Liberia. We are sitting on it. We are sitting on that thing. He said it can change Liberia, the history of life. It can change our life. But the question is,
and we're getting old. We're not able to see.
But the problem is like you could be excited about it. We have bomb mines. We have Nimba, right? We got bomb hills. All those places. Before we were born, they were there. It's the same old thing going to happen. We may be excited about the news, but with the people that are in charge, where they have to change the narratives, they'll commandeer this money, sanfon them, and just tell the people what's happening. Yeah, but we were doing a company that doing industrial something like that. Each company, about 5 companies come from Asia. Most of them are Turkish and other Asian companies. None of them below 1 billion. 100 million. They're all in the billions. They have 20 years, 5 different companies. They are in Liberia into mining sectors. And they are in various countries. They are not even changing the lives of our people. So who is responsible for these things? So if we talk about the foreigners as well, we talk about ourselves. We are responsible for our problem, gentlemen. So the problem in Liberia is we are responsible. We need to know that leadership is nothing is going to change. 178 years, you don't have a fitting role. You wouldn't depend on Thomas Bolivar from from EW or what the hell is to City Hall. That's where the rule ends. The better rule ends. I mean, on the street in Monrovia, country that lived for 178 years. God, gentlemen, look.
Can I add some flavor to this before you conclude? But don't talk about education. I gave example. 1987 to be precise, the Russian government gave 200 scholarships to Sept.2 government for Liberian students. Out of the 200, only 16 were sent. The same amount of scholarship were given to Sierra Leone, they sent all Ghanaian. And that scholarship should have been every year. But while Liberia didn't take advantage of that because it's a socialist state. Liberia cannot be socialist state. So they went the USSR and decided not to send students. Today, we're talking about leadership. We're lacking leadership. We cannot get better people to lead the country. Our daughter said it, people go to university, they learn political science, sociology, and something else.
Public administration, biggest thing we learn. I know what they call public administration. I never heard of that before. It's like in the part of the word. Yeah. Anyway, guys. So just to summarize, guys, that's how it is. So we need to talk about the dependency on foreign currency. Of course, we can use it at some point, but if we're 100% dependent on foreign currency, more as a US dollar, it's going to affect us. And this is why it's not encouraging intertrade among African countries. The first and foremost, you do the West Africa. You look at the ECOWAS. Before we go to ECOWAS, look at the Mali River Basin. We should be able to trade among ourselves. There should be no boundaries, gates, or stopping the tariff stuff like we used to do it here in Europe, where they have these roads open up, and there was a flew. You flew from Scandinavia to come here. Europe has these connections, intertrade. It's not happening among the Mali River Basin countries. Now we're not even talking about ECOWAS region. Then go to the AU. So we got a lot of stuff to look at instead of talking about the West or the East coming to help us. We need to look at the fundamental factors that are disturbing us. The currency is a little part of it. That's what I want to say. The currency using foreign is a very, very minute. So we need to look at the fundamental issue in Africa first. They will talk about we could even get ECHO. We're talking about having one currency. It did not materialize. Mm-hmm. So where are we going? The country leaders they have different intentions. when the people started to do the euro here, it took a couple of years. At one point, one became an agreement, and that was euro is running over most. The 17 African countries, European countries, 14 or 15 European countries. Euro has been used. We've been doing it for 5-10 years. It's not even going anywhere in Africa. So we will talk about the Chinese are coming. They're gonna come and dump all the money, the technology and stuff. We don't make use of it. They'll go back the same year. It will happen the same thing. Yeah. So this is what I want to say about that.
Yeah. Let me just say a small thing about Liberia's economy issue. One of the easy ways to validate our currencies is this. They sending money to Liberia, Western Union, money, something and things. Then all money should be changed into the Liberian currencies. If you send money to your parent or to your family in Liberia, you should take the money in the Liberian currency. You will value the currency. That's what happened in Guinea. That one make them today. Their economy is a little bit booming. Their currency is getting a little bit stronger, because if you send money to Guinea, they're not going to give the money to the person in US dollar or European euro
currency.
No, euro currency. No, they will give it to him in a franc currencies, Guinean franc currency. So he boosting the economy. He boosting the strength of the currencies down there. Why we can't introduce that in Liberia? And secondly, look at what is happening. The salaries, the civil service salaries, half in US dollar, some in Liberia. Why that should happen? So all these things there, the government need to look into this thing there.
Yeah,
that's the only way. Yeah, that's the only way our currency will be valid.
If you put in Liberian dollar, Mr. Doyle, you can't buy anything, so they'll use foreign currency. That's the mentality. Gentlemen, we can't go far with that.
Let's go forward.
I want to say a big thank you. We'll take a quick break, then we'll come back and tell you what's going on in Liberia. We'll look at the major news. $2.8 million fraud at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Ministry of Finance. Then we'll talk about, got two bridges. The Chinese are coming to start the building overhead bridges in Monrovia. And I also will be looking into what's happening in Niba County. The political heavyweights are fighting over the power, who controls Niba for 2029. And more other will be getting back to you. Let's take a short break. We'll come back and let you know what we have. So join us. Don't go away. Stay with us. Got this all going to go to about Liberia. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back. Once again, thank you very much for joining us, Jamal Kamaris Mani. I got my colleagues here, Linford Igongwe from Norway, Paul the Lord Chulupe, the good friend of King Charles. And Linford is the man behind the microphone, the good friend of the microphone for 30 years. Where we've met tonight is also Uncle Maurice Yankuba. We are discussing Liberia. Just the segment of international, we're just discussing how foreign money, dollar, the currencies are affecting Africa. Now we're going to talk about Liberia. Gentlemen, we have today in the news. The first thing in the news about the overhead bridges is going to be built. The Minister of, the Minister just broke ground for an overhead bridge. I'm going to roll out the news story from Daily Observer. You tell me what is it. Is it long overdue or it's okay? We receive it as an exciting news for us. Let me see what we got here today. Yeah, this is the story. Overhead bridge project kicks off today in Monrovia. This is going to be from Samuel K. Do Boulevard all the way to, to somewhere in town. So it's going to be two bridges. This is the design going to look like. So Liberia since 1847 or to today, we don't have such overhead bridge in Monrovia. So this is the first of its kind. So gentlemen, tell me what has happened. Is this exciting news or this is long overdue? According to them, going to ease traffic congestion. Liberia is jammed, no roads, so the government is coming out. This project came out, it was signed by George Weah government in 2021. And now it's going to be by the Chinese overpass project. It's the government of China is going to take responsibility to build these over bridges. Gentlemen, what do you think? Is that exciting news?
Well, let me kick off. I don't know why they call it overhead bridge, because when you look at it, I think it should be fly over. This is
exactly.
Your overhead bridge is one crossing.
At the bottom, you're right about that.
Whatever they call it, that's it. And I want to say, if this is true, congratulations to Liberians, especially to this government. But this document was signed, or this contract, or it's not a contract, this agreement was signed under the WIA government. But I believe that something went on when the Chinese just decided to relax with the project, or they probably pull out. I can't speak for them. And that has to do with the human rights record that the Georgia government voted against China for. So I think this is where this project got stalled. But by this time, the project should have been going on. But now that the Unity Party government has lifted it up, I think it's a good deal. And I would like to see this, because if this is true, and we hope it's not going to be a similar cases with the Bali Island project,
Bali,
or the Sea Coast super highway or something like that. So if this one happens, I think it will help to ease the transportation problems in Monrovia, because if this thing starts from here, the junction straight to Broad Street, if you come from Tikana, you're going Broad Street, you don't need to stop. Just go straight and go. The people that are going, here, the junction and blah, 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 Congo Town, all the people, they will be down. Okay? So it's a good project. And we hope it will happen before, or it will kick off before this government leaves. Or if it starts, and I know Liberian people, if it starts, the people will say, okay, if I can start anything, so we'll go for him again, so he can complete it. So the United Party government, they are doing everything. You see, this is propaganda. They are doing everything possible to lift all of the projects that we had them, initiated, so that they can gain that momentum and say, well, they started, or they started and they got to complete it and blah, blah, blah. That's the political side of it. But the economic and social side of it, for all Liberians' benefit, I think I applaud it. As a Liberian, the next time I go, I can drive on this bridge. So, I think it's good.
Paul, what are you at?
Put this thing down. Let's put this down. Let's hear the people. Let's look at their faces when they're seeing this thing. Put this down.
I want to say something. Leave up. I'll put it down. No, I want to say something before I'll put it down.
Yeah.
Leave you tell me, Paul, tell me. I was just one of the minister was there to get to do the kickoff of this project. This is a multi-million-dollar project. The president was not there, and you remember he went to Banga to launch to dedicate a hand pump. He went to what was that? Air Kenya Air. What was we resuming their transport? He was there to inaugurate that. I mean, we didn't see him. What's happening, man?
Okay, wait. Let me say something.
Let me put it with that. I mean, this is a this how Liberia. We didn't have this in the country said 108 years, and the government, these guys are getting people as a gift.
And this is the president that was in China. The president was just in China recently, and the Chinese are coming to do this thing, and he didn't come.
He didn't come.
Yeah, a few things will be happening.
Okay.
The president may not be in good health. I'll just say as it is.
He's a very good spokesperson for the president.
The president may not be in good health, or he may not, or this project will just be another showcase. But if they broke ground for this project,
it must start.
Yeah, again, I can't doubt it, because even if it is a showcase, they should get announced. But if they break ground, or this will not be the first time we see two government breaking ground. During the government, there were almost earthquakes.
Okay, Paul. I know the guys is. I think we should hire Linford to be the PR officer for the working to the in the president's office. Linford, Paul, what do you think? The president, we didn't see them. Mr. Dollar will give you a chance. Let Paul tell me what you think. Paul, what do you think about this multi-billion-dollar project, million-dollar project coming to Liberia? I mean, gift from the Chinese government.
Hey, your president was not there.
The president was not there to say, but he was in the hand pump in Banga. He was there to launch it. He was in Bapolu. He was at the Kenya airline resuming flight to Liberia. He was there. I'm on there sitting down, I'm on the staff. But this one are going to bring a lot of benefit to the country in terms of landmark project, traffic congestion, and many other things. Also beautify the country. I mean, the city. What do you think about this?
Jamal, I think the president a little bit tired because he's preparing to go to New York for the United
Oh,
Nations
yeah,
something.
right.
So if the president going to Bapolo and all of these places, he need a rest.
Monrovia, oh man, this is Monrovia, man.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Look, Jamal, I will talk about this project and I have a different view of this project.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. There's something in Liberia called mispriority.
Mm-hmm.
This issue here, when we are brought it in, or I was in Liberia, we had a lengthy debate on the issue.
Of the overhead bridge.
The overhead bridge, it's not going to ease the congestion in Monrovia. We look at it, it was not, it's something that we are taught on, that Monrovia should be the Miami in his own dream. But the reality is it's not going to ease any congestion problem, because what happened from here there, you know, the new roundabout a bit from here there.
Yeah.
So you're going to take that all the way coming to where they have Lone Star, before the party headquarters, that's where it's going to stop.
Up to
now,
the side of Congo Town, yeah?
Yeah, so what happened in Monrovia, because they just use one route that in the evening when everybody going, people use what they call tail lane. That's why we are told we will have an overall bridge. But the situation was from 12th Street to Ghana's-Ville. Ghana's-Ville is just there across a bridge. The argument was they are laid out. Now you see where Charles Taylor lived before, they call White Flower.
Yeah.
There is a row of back path. There is a row
from the Ministry of from the Ministry of Health.
From that new ministry there, not Ministry of, how they call it?
Yeah, that's the Ministry of Health.
Ministry of Island, they get a place called Peace Island.
Okay, yeah.
There is a street there that is already laid out, take you all the way Oro at the Springfield. So the thing is, when you have mispriority, this is what you do.
So Paul, what is your point here? Is this not a good idea?
It's the idea that we are brought up because he wanted to see the Miami. But if this government are going to negotiate, this is a situation we need roads. You get one simple bridge that connect Une Brove. But then you can tell the Chinese, connect few bridges around their causeway to ease the traffic situation.
No, you will speak for let me speak for the president. He will speak for the president. Let Mr. Dollar speak too.
Yeah, no, but Dollar will give me 1 second.
Because I think he's the spokesperson in the very much a spokesperson.
You know what I want to say? Just give me a chance. You see? No, I'll
say
something.
Leave her go ahead.
I'll say something.
I'll wait.
You see, this project, like I said, I still scratching my head. This project, when people went to China, they did not negotiate any new project. The Chinese people did not get any fees. So what the Chinese people might have told them is, no, listen, we already got something that we are saying. And that's the only project now we can do for you. You agree to it, yes or no? The person, they didn't get priority. They didn't, trust me, they did not carry any blueprint to the Chinese. They did not carry anything. They just put all the people on board to go show their faces. You see, you went to Tika, then from Tika straight, you went to China. Why you couldn't be separate straight to China? Send a small delegation. So they went, when they went to the Chinese people said, boy, bro, we didn't bring nothing. So, but we think any part government puts on the start scratching their head. So the Chinese people brought up people, they say, okay, they want to do it. That's all I want to say. So they negotiate nothing new.
So let me conclude, because if you look at the structure of Monrovia, this is where they could have negotiated with the Chinese. Say, look, although we are signing thing because we are had a dream that he wanted Monrovia to look like Miami, but in reality, it's a good thing to have, but it will not ease the traffic situation. So let's ease the traffic situation, connect 12th Street to Bernardsville. That's one. All of this, I think, if you look at the structure of Monrovia,
12th Street to Bernardsville. Okay, yeah.
Yes,
okay.
That road. So people don't have to come all the way SKD Boulevard to go to Bernardsville. So you ease that situation right there. Now, on the other side of Puebla, you can lay out a bridge that crosses the river that going towards that end. You see? So you have these places that are laid out. If you get to how they call the place, because of St. Paul River, you only got one bridge. Why don't you ask the Chinese, we need another bridge from Conway area to cross that end. So when that one simple bridge collapse, we have another means. So mixed priority is the whole thing. When the government came to power, they said they came to rescue. So we are signed this deal with the Chinese. Look, I say, okay, it's a good deal, but how can we say we want to rescue this Monrovia? Let's look at these other places and do a quick impact bridges that will benefit us, that will ease the traffic situation in Monrovia. Remember too, they have not completed the ERWA highway yet.
Okay. Right. Paul, I got a question for you. Mr. Dollar, what do you think? I'll come to Paul with a question.
All right. You know what Paul was just saying, this program started since Samuel Kanyadu administration. If anybody can remember, they started grading from Barnesville Junction, go inside Garnersville all the way. That road going to link to 12th Street. That was a Kisili Boulevard.
Yeah.
Then another one from 72nd to bus to TB Arnett. That was a Great Deal Allison Boulevard. So that's the one that started from to ease the traffic, to diminish the traffic system in our country, in our city. So Samuel Doe started that, the work came in, they now materialized, and still remain like that. And that even to bus to TB Arnett, some of us had a land there, they have to take our land from us and pay the land back, give us the money for that land. So basically, that process supposed to be undertaken by this government to at least to help us to pave this road there. I don't know why they're not doing it, what they are not doing it for, I don't know. If they want to do the overhead bridge, you see place like Congotan from the Peace Island, where they have the grove, they call the Global People place on Congotan Hill there. From that place there, the beach one all the way to Garnersville.
Yep.
They could lay this overhaul bridge from that end to Boston, where Freeport. It will help the traffic. But why they can do that? The overhaul bridge you're talking about right now is a very good thing, but I don't think it will help out to solve the traffic hazard we have in our country. I don't think so.
Okay.
And he will cause more traffic accident than to even solve the problem. Because people are not used to go on a hill like that.
Okay.
You know, on top of the bridge.
Now
they're going to cause more problems for us.
But gentlemen, can I ask you a question? Is there a point that is there where the government can go and renegotiate the engineering design? Because all we're talking about is that they have agreed to come and give us the gift to do an overhead bridge for whatever, or flying bridge is what they call it. But can they say that what you guys saying, looking at the accident, so you know what, the previous plan is not going to work for us. Can you help us to do this 1, 2, 3 and A, B, C, D so it can make much easier? Is this not a way the government can negotiate that?
No, but they have already broken the ground for the particular blueprint.
Jamal, they can't do that. The reason being, Linford nailed it here. These guys, they want to start something to say, you re-elect also, we can complete it. Because what if you come to power, if you don't have plan, this is what you do if you don't have plan. If you hear they put, President Barker doing roles, these are all roles that we are, Eddie started, we are this summer, we are on a dream. These are, so there is no blueprint to show this government since they came in. So they're just going by the orders that what they're doing, they just decide. But logically, any engineer, I'm an engineer, so I'm talking from the engineer point of view. It does not make sense. When you wanna done over there after work, you wanna ease the traffic going to Congo Town, Pinsway, and then because they don't want to tail lane. But then those who go to Ghana, everybody head in that one direction. That one direction. So when you leave the overall bridge, where else? You still getting the traffic. So cut the thing from 12th Street. 12th Street, all those, even the Jaratan area, build another bridge that will take you to what? Battery Factory. Cross bridges across there, it beautify the city more. Those places are swamp communities. So if you lay bridges there, it much better. Now look at St. Paul. I mean, Gemma, when you go, you always stop in the Broadway area.
Yeah.
One day when the St. Paul Bridge collapsed, that whole
no, they were shrink. They were shrink. No, they were shrink. Or they were take boat.
Where common sense come in. Let's look at from Cornwall, lay another bridge that will be heading toward how they call it, Bromley Mission. That end that will ease the situation. But when people are not thinking, this is where you get the just go with the flow to fool the common people who don't think logically and will buy into it for them to get vote come 2029.
Wow. All right. Guys,
you
want to we're not going to Nima yet. We're talking about $2.8 million is missing at the Ministry of Finance. So we want to know what's going on. There's a report from the GAC. You know what it means. The GAC says that that's another commission, the General Auditing Commission of Liberia. Just came out with a report that this is the report, I think. Yes, correct. GAC report that there's hoax finance in $2.8 million fraud in the ministry. This just happened in 2024, gentlemen. There are other agencies, autonomous agencies and ministry overspending here, but we see that. What stands out right here is what happened at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I keep saying Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Ministry of Finance. But what is this like? 2.8 million. Government is not doing anything. The report is out. I think I remember the guy who's the head of the he was the head of the LTA, Liberian Telecommunication Authority, Abdullah Kamara. When they got saying the report, in the following days, the guy was suspended by the president. Upon GAC report that he was involved in some fraud or fraudulent, but he was clear by the court. By the time he was already relieved of his post. But now, gentlemen, what's going on here? This is a rescue team. We have not even gone 2 years or 3 years here. Some millions missing in the Ministry of Finance. That's one of the key ministries under the government arm. What's happening, guys? Y'all tell me is there a way we can kind of minimize or control corruption or fraud? Is it something worrying?
Let Padore go first.
Okay, how can we do this? 2.8 million.
Jesus.
Yeah, first of all, you say the thing started since 2004, isn't it?
2024. This report is 2024. Okay. Last year.
Oh, okay. Oh, just last year. Okay.
Yeah.
So who were in charge? Yeah, who were in charge at the time?
Of course, it's under the who was there. The guy just where they took it.
Kamara. Kamara was there at the time.
No, I'm talking about the Ministry of Finance under the
the Abdullah Kamara. This one is under
Gafon.
Yeah, this one is under Gafon. I know, but Gafon replaced the former ministers. Was
the guy who got sick?
Boima Kamara. Mr. Dole, don't worry about that. What they are saying here.
Wait. You see, what I'm trying to say.
Let me give you some more information so you'll talk. I'll give you some. The report from the Daily Observer says the report also from the GAC say the amount of 2.8 million were made without adequate support documentation, including receipt, quotation, contract, and delivery note. There's no way they can trace this money. The Ministry of Finance cannot trace this money. They made payment, they can't trace it. No paper, no documentation. Who pay for whether the Ebola Kamara, but he will honor the leadership. Honor the Unity Party led government.
Yeah.
Go on.
Excuse me.
Go on.
I work at the Ministry of Finance. I was there as a head of the fraud department. So I know what I'm talking about. First of all, the disbursement funding need to be known who make disbursement of funds. The deputy finance minister for administration responsible for all disbursement. But to approve of it should be done by the minister himself. So I just want to inquire us, this saga started in who administration?
Joseph Mbaka administration, simple.
Yeah, I know. It started Joseph Mbaka administration, but who was the minister at the time? Bama Buak, the guy here, Kamara, was a minister at the time. What led him to say he's sick and this and that recipe? And some people even said that if he didn't leave right now, he will die. And people pursuing him this and that. Since he left, he stay hefty. So all these things then require suspicion. But however, I will not say he's the one that do the fraudulent activities and things that. But what I am saying, it's supposed to start from Kamara time to this gentleman who's sitting down here with a red hat on, time to know how this money business transaction go on. Listen, finance ministry, there's no way that money will be taken away to disappear or VAT and any trace. It's not possible. The people are stepping on something.
Hold on. The question is, the people cannot find one simple piece of paper receipt. So who do you hold?
But how the man don't know 2 million got missing?
Okay, let me tell you something. Let me explain to you why. Let me explain what happened here. The General Auditing Commission of Liberia will say that the government entities, the social ministry, including the Ministry of Public Work, Liberian Airport Authority, Ministry of Labor, and the Bureau of Concessions, spent beyond their approved budget allocation, totaling 2.81. That's the total in Essex expenditure. So they spend what they had. So why would the ministry, foreign Ministry of Finance release the money to them beyond their budget? The ministry, you say, let's say the public work, for instance, spent 40.34 million.
Thank you very much. I come
in against a budget of 38 million. They have 40 million, but they spend more than 30. They spend 38. You have 38 million, but they spend 40 million. You don't have that budget. Then why you got over? Who give you to over? Why should they give them more than what they don't have on the paper?
Yeah, but now that's why I'm saying there's no way someone would say the money got missing, you can't find the trace. They know where the money went to. Those that have the money and the complaining, I mean the revealing that they spend more than what they're supposed to spend, how they got the money, you're supposed to be knowing. Definitely supposed to be knowing. So those are responsible for, listen, Mr. Kamara, those are responsible for the disbursement of funds need to be liable for that money, releasing the money.
But
over making documentation on it.
Mr. Dollar, they don't know who spent the money. They don't know who gave the money. The money came, but they just disappeared. Who you can't prove that he signed the money out. He did not disperse it for. How can you hold him? No proof. Leave for what you think. What is the thing on this? This is confusion.
For me, is beyond my understanding.
It's just went into the thin air. I mean, 2.8 million.
Beyond my understanding. Money got missing. People discovered that some money got missing, but they didn't know how the money get in the coffin and how the money get out of the coffin.
No, listen. What happened is that they make budget. Everything go to the Ministry of Finance. You take money from them, right? They will do the spending. Ministry will issue the fund to them. So, but that this time they were asking for more money. So the money that was given to the ministry, when they made a report, the money is not there anymore. They asked the ministry, well, we don't have record for that money. As far as we're concerned, we don't know who disbursed the fund, but we gave her 40 million, 100 million. But 2.8 million is missing, no record. That's the information GAC is saying. Where is the money? Where's the record? Nobody can say where the money is or the record, no documentation. But Lifa, what do you think about this? What is going on here, man? Show me what is going on here.
There is nothing new that I can say. This is the usual Liberia. Things are happening. Money will get missing. And in fact, we're talking about money as if to say, and you earlier on talk about corruption. What can we do to minimize or to control corruption? No. When the people are corrupt, corruption is now a living thing. It's not walking back. There is nothing like corruption by itself, and that you can see it coming. So, corruption coming over there. But there are people in government. You see it? There are people in the country. So, when you got these people in power, what do you expect? It will all happen. And why you think people will do everything? They will go to any extent that some people will spend 45 years working in government until 45 years, can you imagine?
Yes,
That's
you're right.
enough. You see, so we cannot identify corruption to see it and say, oh, yeah, corruption coming over there. So the same people that we electing and putting in power, they are the same people who are corrupt. So these things will happen. The moment the money comes, and that's all they go in government for them to get rich. When the money comes, they take it. That's why if all of these countries that are helping Liberia, if they were to come and do the physical work like the Chinese want to do, and I want to admire about the Chinese, come and do the work. America, when they go to America, they say, okay, we'll give you such amount of money, or you'll go to World Bank will credit you. When they get in that physical cash, they will draw and start. If the World Bank will say, oh, listen, you want 10 billion, okay, yeah, we'll come in. What you want to use it for? We want revamp GFK. Okay, we'll do everything.
We'll do ourselves. Yeah,
we'll do ourselves. But people will not be watching the government. Some people will not spend 45 years in government. They need to be president.
But believe for what puzzles me is that up to present, there's no arrest made, nobody been called for questioning, nothing is happening. I mean, it's just like business as usual.
Who would arrest you? The mayor, to be honest, the mayor. Lambo, excuse me 1 minute, please.
Yeah, go on.
To be honest, the people know what they're doing. To be realistic, the people know what they're doing. They're just trying to take the piece. They're just taking the Liberian people to be a fool. That's all I can see it. Otherwise, they know what they're doing. No one can tell me money come in and go out, no trace. It's not possible. It's not possible. So those that are responsible to monitor the funding of our money need to be taken for investigation to give account of that $2.something million. Do you know what they're doing? But if they got some backup somewhere, they will never be arrested. That's what I can tell you, Mr. Kamara. If they got some backup somewhere, they will never be arrested.
You see, gentlemen, what really bothers me right now, I don't know. I was just mentioning Abla Kamara when you were mentioning about the GAC report that he was involved in some misappropriation of phone or something. Immediately he was released of his post. And before even you could look at before the court could clear out.
Which county he came from and which party
he's from Lofa. The guy's from
Lofa. All of them from Lofa.
The guy from Lofa. But then sometimes if you come from Lofa, if you not have that connection with the inner cycle, or you came through maybe Delon or Young,
you not even get a job.
You're not so if they come direct appointment by the president with your kinsman, they will not get rid of you.
So, but nobody even questioning Gafon or Boama or whatever to say, okay, guys, we need to know what's going on. So it just because if it's in the news now, don't mean that he's been around for long. Nobody's talking about it. Since 2024 up to now, that's now we are government. We can't blame we are. From 2024 GAC report up to this year, December, as according to the story, December 31st up to this year, it's not even 2 years here. We've already losing 2.8 million in the Ministry of Finance. Nobody can get traced. No documentation in the thin air. How does that work? Is that what Mr. Doyle says is not possible?
Welcome to the party called Unity Party, Jamal. You know, I can't remember the actual story, but I will bring it to your knowledge. Maybe somebody will say it. On an early government, I don't know whether it's Ministry of Lands and Man, one of those ministries were working under a plum tree and it rained. So they say GAC did an audit and they couldn't find the paper trail because it got so wet. The documentation got damaged, so that money went in vain. This is Unity Party criminality at the highest level. You remember what I was saying, Joe, we are then they have their inexperience, and you bring the experienced criminal. This is what you get.
Wow.
In the 24th century, everything is computerized, it's technology. Why are we still looking for receipt for Christ's sake? My corporation I work in, my department, for them to buy pencil, they have the thing, your department have a call center number. You just put a call center number and order the pen. So when the auditor comes, they know that the Lord Cholope have ordered this, and at this time, at this point, everything can be traceable, but whereby you still issuing paper receipt, for Christ's sake, Somebody take it and go over do rebel and do a big do they use that paper thing, you're not going to get it back. So they got to understand how to steal. And that's why we said the Unity Party was a bad news for Liberia. And they now start shooting. Gafon today should have been called and been suspended, and he should face trial like what he got from LTA did. But that selected justice in Liberia. This is what it is. If you favor somebody, they cannot face justice. Remember, in the the first lady office, her nephew was issuing scholarship for $260 for poor Liberian students. When the thing backfired, what they did, they said they suspended him. You ever heard about it anymore? Any case just died. He never faced trial. So welcome to Unity Party, the big thief of the nation. That's what you get.
Yeah. Guys, well, I don't know. I want to waste too much time on it because it's so painful that the government that we depend on, that you have our up to now, nothing's been done about it. We just talk because 2.8 million is small change.
It's a lot of money. And
I don't think we need to waste our time on it because it's an open secret that
go to
the criminal are visible. So why they can be picked up?
This is the story.
Give some free statement.
I know. I'll leave Linford to be the last because he's very, very versed into what's happening in NIBA politics, and Linford being a part of NIMA, part of Bon. No, gentlemen, if you just join us, this is the Bottom Line Liberia. We reveal our Liberian newspapers. Today we'll be looking at foreign international desk. Paul was telling us what's happening around. Now we just concluded on the $2.8 million fraud at the Ministry of Finance in Liberia. We'll also look at the overhead bridges Chinese are giving as a gift to Liberia, which was signed by George Weah in 2021. And now there was a kickoff, and it was launched today in Monrovia. But now we're looking at what's happening in Nimba County. If you see the headline, that front page Africa headline, from ally to adversary, from friends, from partners to enemies. We're talking about Samuel Koga, the newly elected senator from Nimba County, and the current vice president of Liberia, Honorable Jeremiah Coon. They are falling apart. Gentlemen, welcome to the platform. What do you think? This fight, Nimba County is the biggest county in Liberia in terms of politics. And the county is doing very well in terms of entrepreneurship. Business-wise, it's a hub of business right now in Liberia. You can pay $200 for a night hotel. It's still over in Nimba County. That's almost close to Monrovia, better than Monrovia. But now the heavyweights, political heavyweight in the counties, the vice president and one of the senators of Nimba County are local heads. Where are we heading to? So is this why Musa Belete, working in the shadow to win some political power so in the county with CMC? But gentlemen, tell me, why Musa is not a problem here. I think Musa is taking some people, a vote from these people. But is this because of the depth of the Godfather, that things are still scattered in Nimba at the moment, or what has happened? Is it Prince Johnson is crying his grave right now? I'll go to Paul first, then Mr. Dollar, then Linford will just summarize everything, because Linford is very much aware of what's happening in Nimba. He's been a born citizen of Nimba County, both Nimba and Bon County. He's the guy said from the county that three ethnic groups: Basa, Pele, and Mano. Yeah, this is the county he's from. This is where this guy from. So Linford is just, he speaks on all the three areas. So I'll leave him at last. I'll go to Paul. Paul, what do you think? What's happening in Nimba right now? What do you think going to happen? Prince Johnson is no more. People that would think should be weighing power, trying to put Nimba together to prepare for 2029. They have at each other's throat. What is your say?
I think this is a good news for Nimba County. I would say it this way because the two gentlemen were looking out there, they're from one tribe that is so tribalist, the Geo tribe. So if these two people are fighting in the Geo belt, it's a good news for Nimba County. It's good news for other political parties. Because what? These two people, if they fall apart, then the Geo tribe is divided. Because usually the Geo tribe they carry the higher number. The owner goes wherever they see their godfather, they all switch one side. So if these two godfathers are fighting in Nimba County, I think Liberia in general and Ibadan should welcome this. Yet if I continue between them, let them divide the Geo belt so other people can benefit, because the Mandingo, the Mano, the Basso, and the Pere from there, the most sensible than this too. Excuse me, if anybody from the Geo tribe get angry, this is how I see it, because these are the people that really brought confusion in Nima County. Every by-election, this particular tribe it will be something else. So when these two people are fighting, it's some good news for Liberia. They all want to replace Prince Johnson. So replacing Prince Johnson is the underlying factor of this fight. Nothing else but who become the kingmaker that what Prince Johnson did. But the good news is, I think most ability in a dark shallow, he will be laughing and be picking on their supporter while they're killing each other with word of mouth. So that has I think a good news for Liberia in general.
If you got a video on this, can you roll it? There's a video.
I can roll a video where Samuel Coca spoke on.
With just a little bit of what's happening, then we'll go to Zador.
Yeah, because I got that video today.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
There's an actual video on this that here when he spoke for
I think
about
Leaford dropped that video.
So I can drop this one. Let's listen to this. Yeah.
The country that my neighbor screen last, and I was elected duty as a senator. You gave me confirmation power. But I'm coerced to confirm people. So with people who saying that the vice president and myself will not work together, I think the vice president doesn't want to work with me. I want to say clearly to the public so they can understand. We have been subjected like a bear ball. And I asked Samuel Kuga, I'm not going to accept that. Once I was elected as a senator of the country, I must be given the opportunity to recommend my citizen. It is my fiduciary responsibility. I can't sit now, a group of citizens crying on me for job. Then one individual supersedes everything. He does the country work. He does the nation work. Then who am I? If a vice president goes to the president and says, well, Nima Kandi and my country live with me, out of courtesy, teamwork, he will listen to him. But in my mind, the vice president should reciprocate. In as much that he can go to the vice president or the president to say that anything that has with Nima, please refer to me. Equally so. When we make recommendations, it should be accepted as a legislator of the country. Then it show good faith. But you cannot be the only one that will take the shot. Then we live on a wayward. No, I don't think that's the proper way for us to go. Ask Samuel Kuga will not accept it. I can tell you for free. Where the period of the time that the Nima elected me for, the time elapsed, and they want to take their job, fine. But if the Nima people know that I'm somebody who is a straight talker, and they know that I can defend them, fine. I don't think that is the way we're supposed to go. We need to respect each other in this country. Politics should not be because I got the upper hand, so therefore I can suppress anybody. No, for me, I'm a water. When you tie me on the other side, I can bust another way to make way for me to live. And what I'm saying here is what's happening. It's not secret. The vice president is listening to people that, oh, that man there, pretty soon he will be vice president running me to somebody. So he believes in it. Maybe he want to elevate me. My disappointment is, number one, that the vice president often tell me, since he got a seat as vice president, how many persons have I recommended in this government to serve in the government as presidential appointee? 0. Every appointment in Nima Kandi was done by him. He and I would discuss something as a brother. To implement it, you will bypass me and do different things. I don't talk on it. Look at what happened in district number 5. If my brother sincerely want to work with me, he's not listening to gossip. And we're working in harmony with respect to each other. You don't think he's supposed to call me and say, my man, the election here, why you're thinking? Because you are the one over there. Anybody that recommend, I will declare support for that person. It's a dumb deal for me to knock my chest in the district and say, we're carrying the person. And the vice president said, no objection. The senator who came from there, the senator of the country, say that the person want a party mandate will support the person. But on the contrary, that we agree on something, you deviated from it. If I had gone already to challenge that I will support a Gosi Mekwa by all means, or I will support Koto Bori Badia by all means, openly declare, and he's supporting Koto, how the world will look at us. So as an elderly person, I decided to waive everything and say I will not do it. I will be neutral. My neutrality was based on endurance, but I was hurt and felt disgrace in my own district. He doesn't want to lead the neck of Nima County. When you are elected as a senator, it is a full responsibility to take charge of the country. Not vice president, not president. Do you guys want me to sit supinely and be happy when this kind of thing is going on? Then what made me senator? Even the party that the old man left for all, may his soul rest in peace. I'm looking there like an ostracized person. You don't dignify me. You want to tell me I'm not organized? Why you think the Nimapo elected me as a senator? And that respect is not given to me. We should respect each other. Whosoever attempting to intimidate me with voodoo, with sound of intimidation to say we'll bring somebody to do the Liberian way, they say that vla.
Right. Guys, Linford stay be at the last. Mr. Dollar, I think Paul, you can still make comment. What I took from this from Honorable Koga is about giving job to Nimanians. He has not recommended anybody to the office, which if he did, he's not being agreed or supported by the vice president. It's all about job here. I think it's much more in Niba than giving jobs to people, creating more enabling environment for people in Niba County to do this job. Yeah, they have come to this too far. I had a specific question for that have to do with Niba Kwado. The question I'll ask Linfa about that Niba we are one, but what Niba seems to be one of the counties in Liberia that has a very good tradition in terms of elderly people, traditional people, and the zones coming together before these things come out. When you see these are the most highest political heavyweight in Niba County. He coming to the public. We have not heard from the vice president. But Paul, where this lead us to? If you listen to Honorable Koga.
Jema, I said it earlier. This is a power struggle, and Koga felt disadvantaged because of the by-election that the vice president overshadowed him. And this is where it's leading to. So he coming out now to go after the vice president. That's the whole thing.
If you look at it, the vice president, Mr. Dolly can come here if you want. The vice president also raises his hand up.
We all would not be talking at the same time.
Yeah, you can just come here if you want to come here. So I'll go to Linford. I don't want to spend much on this. The issue of this, Mr. Dollar Linford, and the issue is not Linford, Mr. Dollar Paul, is Mr. Koga's support. It was the vice president all out there, campaign trail, make sure he wins this senatorial position. So whatever he does today is the blessing of the vice president. Can we say that?
Well, the thing is, we can't say that because what happened is, what did the vice president back him? It was the president of Liberia also that backed him. Remember, Koga came from this group they call the majority bloc that were fighting in the house. So everyone, they put their financial thing behind him because they wanted Koga to win the thing so they can have the Nima belt. So that's why the vice president positioned himself that, look, I want to be the one here, the new godfather after Prince Johnson. This is why he showed to the nation that what he said, the nation voted for Koga. Koga is now one that how they call it, that role of how to get it, Prince Johnson as well. So the fight here, what he says is the senator of the county take charge of the county, not the vice president and not the president. So the vice president is stepping on something that have nothing to do with him. It's not his authority anymore. So he's stepping on Mark. That's why Coca is angry. This is not your role anymore. You're supposed to take instruction, or I'm supposed to tell you something about the county. Now you coming interfering into my business.
Thank you. Mr. Dole.
Yeah.
You got my question. Tell me, and then we'll go to Linford. We can wrap this up.
Yeah,
what do you think?
You
where are we going with Nimba, with the two powerful people fighting like this?
Yeah, I expect this from the Nimbanians because I know them very well. Do you guys hear me?
Mr. Dollar, go ahead. If we don't hear you, we'll tell you we don't hear you. We'll hear you very well, loud and clear.
Okay, wonderful. I expect this from Nimbanians because I know them very well. More especially young men they call Kuka, where the region he come from in Nimba are the terrible, troublesome people in Nimba, in the entire Nimba belt. From they have a is from Tapita area. You see, they have a place in that area. There's a village they call maybe Lympha may know the village I'm talking about. They call a Petro. Where they have Petro. I've been there. We normal day before the fall of Thomas G. Kuangba, we all went along with Thomas Kuangba to that place there. There where they have their harvest. Even the Prince Johnson at that time, all of them was what you call lieutenant in the army one day. I was sergeant at the time. They call Petro. Petro is a terrible and reliable village for all the Nimbanians. So all the top Nimbanian people go there for whatever to gain power. So Kuka, I expect this thing from Kuka. Kuka will disturb this vice president to the limit. I'm telling you. The area where he coming from, Petro.
Do you think Kuka is right? Because you didn't hear the side of the vice
president. If you look at the administrative wire, Kuka have a right to look into the affair of the citizens that he represent and listen to their view and recommend. But he cannot demand the government to implement. He can only recommend. So that's his position by right. As a senator of a county, he's supposed to listen to his citizens, their view, what they want, their opinion, and things that they put their request.
Mr. Dollar, this is not about development, it's about job distribution.
Yeah, listen to me now, as a citizen. The citizen,
no,
there's a
what he crying
the interest of the citizen. Listen,
I understand that. Let's go to the point. The point he raised here. He's not being given a chance to give job to the people. That's the point he raised.
He's not responsible to give anybody a job.
But that's what he's saying.
That's not his job.
That's what he said.
No, that's not his job. That's not his right. That's not his function to give people a job. That's not his function. The turning issue to the counties, what confronting the citizen in the county, that's the one supposed to be bring it to his attention. Then he will bring it to the central government. That's a function he's supposed to do. Listen to the citizens' view.
So you
for
believe,
their opinions. Yeah.
So you believe the point he's raising is of no importance. He's not of no. Koga saying that he's not being given. He has not appointed. They keep saying about job. He have not appointed anybody to get a job. He has the right to give a job. He has oversees something all about job. So what he's saying is,
I hope you heard what I just said. No, 1 minute, Paul. I hope you heard what I just said. Koga's responsibility is to listen to the view of the citizens, not about the job. That's not he placed to give people a job. The people can only explain to him what problem they have on the ground in Nimba County. Then he will take these opinions to the central government to say this is the problem that in my county, and I think it will be necessary to solve this problem. But not to put long list up to come to the central government and say we want these people to get a job based on their ethnicities or affiliation and whatever. It's not right. That's not the best. That's not the job that he's supposed to be doing. So he's wrong on that. But I believe, because knowing this goddamn full well, know where the Koga man coming from, I know he will give this vice president very tough time. More will come up. You will not believe me. More will come up between them. If he gave them chance when they meet face to face, he might want to jump on them. Let me tell you something. Because that's it. You see, Nimba country is just like England. If you can't play politics in Nimba, politics can play you. Likewise,
Right.
England.
Thank
So, so these people were just in one another show. And it's very good for them to carry on. At the end of the day, Nimba will be divided between the two rooster, and somebody there will come there and take some share. That's it.
Okay.
Jamal, I just wanted to ask something what Padore said.
Mm-hmm.
Coca Jaw is what? Representation and oversight, right? That's where he go. He's sort of going in and advocate for what the people of Nima County wants. The president make the appointment for jobs. Jeremiah Kuhn is not the president. So he can make recommendation to Jeremiah Kuhn. Jeremiah Kuhn can make recommendation to the president. If the president does not want to act, he won't act. So this whole thing, the bottom line here is these two people, they are looking for relevant. And Coca said in an interview, say he thinking that somebody won't carry me as vice running mate too. So if you listen to this guy, Keenan,
yeah, I did.
That's what it's all about. Who become the hero in the town, and that's the rooster. That's what he positioned himself for. It's not about the people; it's about himself. And Jeremiah Kutu is pushing for himself. So it's not about the people. These two guys fighting for their own recognition. That's all.
Okay. If you just joined us, this is the Bottom Line Liberia. Jamal Kamara is my name. I hope tonight we discussing some major issues that made news in Liberia. The last issue tonight we're discussing is the political rift between some political giant in Nima County. The Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn, Honorable Jeremiah Kuhn, and Simon Koga, Honorable Senator Simon Koga, who is raising issues about disunity, almost saying, I'm going to go to my colleague Linford to Linford. We'll give Linford time to tell her. Linford, the election of Jeremiah Kuhn as vice president and the elections of Simon Koga as a senator, I mean, it gave Nimba as one of the political, Nimba County is one of the political heavyweight in terms of electing president in Liberia. The political rift that just started. Where do you see this going for Nimba?
Well, I don't know if it's going to go anywhere further more than where it is. But if it does, fine, great. Then I will subscribe to what Paul said, that then that will create a vacuum, or that will create something I would call political crevice or political crevices. You know what a crevice is? You see, on the mountain, there's a rock, or a rocky hill, and the trees will grow between that small crack in the mountain or on the rock where the roots of the trees grow. When the roots start getting bigger, they can open it and crack the rock more. So it's called crevice or crevices. But let me start by saying this. There is this saying that says, or that goes like this, that there is no honor among thieves. But I will call this one, there is no honor among crooks. In that case, I would say there's no honor among crooks. And Paul said it right. It's not about the people, it's about themselves. And let me go back to Prince Johnson. When you listen to this video clearly, what does it remind you? Doesn't it remind you of the cries of Prince Johnson? Didn't Prince Johnson cry the same cries?
Yeah.
He was crying for the people. And at the end of the day, it was all about himself. Now, Samuel Koga knew all of this. He studied from Prince Johnson's playbook. Now, no, listen, when I become, St. Prince Johnson is all of the way. When I become representative, or senator, I will do the same thing. Because Nima people, the person, they are the kind of people that want to go for their own people, whether they may that go the men or the bad men, or as long as it come from a travel group, they will go there. And that's why some of all we are different kind of people when it comes to Nima, because some of all don't think that way. Now, the other video that I sent, if you listen to that video all the way to the end, the journalist was making analysis and quoting, he kept quoting Samuel Kuga. I don't know whether he's working for Kuga because he didn't say anything good about what regarding Jeremiah Kun. Okay, he kept so and he there's a place where he said that Jeremiah Kun and Kuga all agree during the fire incident at the Capitol building. They all made some deal, and if he try, Kuga will give the detail about what happened to the Capitol building. So this thing is going to drag some kind of way. They say when you pull rope can pull bush. But at the stage where it is now, I think it's all about themselves, and Kuga may have some ambition, which Kun does not want him to achieve. And so they're going to play that each other. But I don't know why it's Kun's fear, because Kun were already the first president. So even if Kuga wants to go as vice president to somebody, there is no guarantee that he will win. Or just that you don't want the name Kun, or Kuga to be a vice presidential candidate, or there's something wrong. So, but again, to any Omar quote, there is no honor among crooks, because they all know what they can do to each other. You know why the witchcraft are always fearing another witchcraft? Because they know when they grab my own person, the way they can do it to my own person. So when I catch that own person too, they know. That's why witchcraft is always afraid of another witchcraft. So I think it's not good for the country. On the political front, it's not good for the country, and not even the political front, but the social front. Because what will happen is when they create that rift, that division, Kun will carry certain people who are loyal to him, and Kuga will carry a certain group that are loyal to him. And what happens with those groups? They will not see eye to eye, and problem can come. And all electoral process in Nima County, there is always something, whether the national election or by-election, there will always be some small violence, some noise. They will never go and say, okay, we're having this thing peacefully. So it's not good at all. But again, it could be the straw that will bring it back of the camel, so that Nima County will be on neutral ground that anybody can get a vote. Not that old traditional Nima County where when one government go, all the government go behind, So we'll wait until we see how it works out. I'm happy that it's not happening in the manner belt from where my people come. So we will see, we'll wait and see. Not that I'm dividing Nima County. We are already seeing if anything happens. But the thing is, these people, anyway, I don't want to go that far, but it's not good for the country. That's all I can say.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Well, quickly,
to add, excuse me, Mr. Kamara, to add to what Limpo just said, we're supposed to look at the history of that country. The vice president who is there now, we're supposed to look at his character. What he did to the Prince Johnson party when he immediately became vice president. The Prince Johnson party's members will take it as a face value to 14 to a certain extent. You should realize that. So Kuga right now trying to portray himself as a replacement of Prince Johnson to fight Jeremiah Kun. So they fight. I don't think he will start right now. He will start right now. He will continue. That's what I can say.
Okay, it's a quite interesting discussion. You know why with Niba? Because Niba is like a deciding factor in the Liberian any elections in Liberia, more especially presidential elections, because of it's one of the big. I think it's the second to Lufa, or is the first in terms of reach deciding presidential candidates in our county. And now, what? No,
second to Mosoraro.
Second to Mosoraro. Sorry. What do you see, guys? This make a CMC. Musa Beleti, who said recently that MDR is no more. The Prince Johnson party, Prince Johnson is late, his party is dead. Even I read news that recently he lost his son, he's a little boy, so when the young man so rest in peace, and the university is now operating, the radio station is down. Things are not working for the late Honorable Johnson anymore. Where is Niba Kandi losing her ground as the political decider in Liberia right now in terms of the presidential election? Is this why I'm saying, gentlemen? Anybody can take on this?
No, yeah. Let me just come in that then Linfo can, because Linfo is a journalist. You know
you can say you have your opinion as well. Mm-hmm.
So he know what to say.
Go on, you
so
give your opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, let me tell you something. Right now, CDC, CMC will never come up with any statement in this fight right now. If you come up with any statement in the fight right now, they will fight him to the ground.
No, but
so
Musa
I bet you, listen to me.
No, listen, Mr. Dole. Mr. Job made a radio interview. He says MDR is dead. He just said it. That's the Prince Justice Party. He just talked about it. He said it was nobody does not exist anymore. He doesn't know big Mr. Kun, Honorable Kun has not made any statement yet. Only the Honorable Kun guy is speaking. So why will he speak on this? We're talking about the party.
That's what,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying now. I say Musa will not come into this people fight right now. He will not take part in this. He will not take out any of these people in the fight. He will behave neutral to sit on the side and watch them how they doing it. Then he will know how to play a card. That's how I can tell you in this. Mr. Lambo, you can come up.
No, but why you want to know? It got nothing to do with Musa.
I listened to that interview of Honorable Velete, and he was rather lamenting. He was rather crying out, like, what happened to the MDR? Where is it after the passing of Senator Johnson? So the party the party was built around one individual, and this individual is no more. So the party has broken down. But people were using the party when the senator was alive. People were using the party to ascend to power. Now that he's no more, nobody's going to that party. The party, nothing is being heard about it, and it was the same party that brought him to power. So Honorable Benito was saying, I can say that this party is there, but if they say it's not there, let somebody show me it so I can go to them and talk to them.
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah. So I think the Padre said maybe Musa might wait and see how the game plays, and like I said again before, this will open a way for all people to intrude, people to go through. That's it.
Yeah. But
and everything can happen for the best.
Why is it this happening to Paul? Just said something which Paul make a very straight point with the people of that particular Panama County. This happened among the Geo trap. Koga is a Geo. How do you call him? Jeremiah Kun is Geo. Why would they have this fight among themselves? And we're talking about Niba Kwado. Niba, we are one. Why would they not settle the in-house before it comes to the public?
Oh no, leave that thing. Let me tell you, I grew up on the capital bypass, and I grew up surrounding the hall we're living in. They had 3 houses there, all crew people. And guess what? One particular family, they were dominant girls. No, they only have one brother, John Doe. John Doe can get drunk. All of the whole hall, everybody can get drunk. They're all man blind. One of their sisters used to be working in the link. When she can't go and win in there, then she can bring the full money. All of them go in the market and cook and eat.
What should
they
do?
Then they put that salad. When they ready for it, when they can bring that out, see how kitchen. Then they rebuild it, see the. But don't think that I don't get it. So you can come for us and enjoy that. When the all turn around, come for you.
So what are you saying?
What I'm trying to say is that the Gyobo, they are like crew people. They will fight among themselves. But when it comes to them being one or being that mind, they will conglomerate. They will come back again. You see it? So it's just politics. It's a political party doing so. And when it comes to the political thing, they will fight. They will do this one. I mean,
you don't see that happening among the Mano group or any other ethnic group. They can do inside house, and the Mano, like you see that the Honorable Tiao Gongolo and other people, other Mano politicians, they are there. They are doing. They have their own differences. So I agree.
The Mano belt, they've been having their own differences. In fact,
but you don't see that on the public like this. That's what I'm saying. And why would this happen this way?
Probably it has not come to the point where it will go to the public like this. Now, but and one of the reasons why the Taiwan Congolo and the other people who had not gone to this height is probably because Tiawan had not ascended to any power like vice president or senator or whatever. He's been fighting all along. And all the people that he got problem with too have been fighting to get power, but none of them have ever had power beside the job they do. Okay, but look at Prince and look at what he got in Koga. And when Prince Johnson was there, he had the same problem with the fellow Koga that cried in Prince Johnson need today. I mean, that cried for him today. He and Prince Johnson have problem. Where I got one tip, it's just on my old phone spot. The tip is on that phone. Where Prince Johnson was calling Koga or liar or man who was greedy, he only let all the thing. So it will always happen. And I seen Prince Johnson today, Koga talking, all the old man, may his soul rest in peace. Can you imagine? Who knew that Koga would have said that about Prince Johnson? So the point I'm making is that the political thing will happen. And when it comes to the Bano Bill, they get their own problem. Their problem is, one of their problems against Tiawan is that Tiawan does not support minor candidates that they put out. So they cannot support him. But theirs have not come to that level because they are not in that position yet in government. But it's always there. But the last thing I want to say is that the people don't mind doing all that thing. Politically, they will fight. But when it comes to holding together, trust me, maybe we'll get talking, but those people before the end of the year, they might see them moving together again. The moment Koga wants what he wants, the same thing with Prince Johnson. You employ four or five people, and I almost forgot this point, where somebody said, Padoli said, is that a work of Koga to give people job? Yes, we agree. I mean, that sensibly, or senator, or representative, is not a job. But when you go to farm votes, when you go to the voter, what do they promise them? That's what they promise them. So when they get elected, the voters demand that you fulfill your promise. That is, you promise to give us job. So they'll do anything possible. Like what he's doing now, he will cry. Like Prince Johnson did the same thing. We saw it. See it? So because of the promises that they make to the people, they know that it's not a responsibility, but that's the promise they made. I support coming. You come and tell me, so, oh, my man, if you're supporting me, I'll give you a job. When you win, I'll say, oh, but Papa, oh, my job. It's not wrong. It's because that way he promised me. But if he tells me I'll not get you a job, then I'll know. If I want work, if I want to work in his government, then I'll go to apply. But when he say I'll get you a job, that's a promise. You will give me. I'll demand it.
Gemma, let me chime in with the most ability exception. You know,
CMC, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They give Bill, they're quite interesting people. And what am I saying this? If Nima County stood up to have a president, they want to be president. But they give people that did not their own son to have a vice president. Think on it logically. That particular bill, when those two people come together, they more than all the other tribes in Nima County. They will do the same thing that they did. That's just how they operate. So I said, yeah, the fight continue, it will be good. They must not stop. Because when they stop, when you divide that group, then it benefits the other parties. I'm being honest.
So you give chance to Tiawa and Musa Blade and other parties to grow.
Yeah,
Musa guy finger cross like this.
Musa waiting.
They must
it's an opportunity for Musa to move it, to pick on the breaking pieces.
So if I were Musa, I would just be pushing fire between the people. Yeah, the people continue the fight because it benefits the other people. What kind of group that don't look anywhere else, but they just stick together, whether it's bad or good? So when you divide them, it's better for Nima County.
But Linford, I was talking about the traditional part of it. Mr. Dolly, you also talk about lengthily in Nima County. Linford, and you can, Jenna, we can take this one. Niba is like almost like Grand Jide, Lofa County. Most of our counties in Liberia, we build on tradition. Before these things come on, we come to where heavy our officials or leaders get into a public fight. We should have had some discussion indoor. Did you see something like this happen before? I mean, I'd never see this happen in Nima County. Prince Johnson was there taking under control. If you got angry with him, you call him, go see the old man, everything settles. And eventually he was in charge and he showed that he was the king. So he's not around anymore. I mean, we hire ugly side, or you understand that. But his press is almost Prince Johnson reminds me of Gaddafi, Muammar Gaddafi. He was like in Libya, things under control. When he left, things just went other way around. So do we miss him right now in terms of putting things in Nima County? No, it's good for the politician.
When you talk about
one sec before you come in.
Okay.
Jamal,
after Linford, I will let you come in.
There's a situation that happening. They picking, he's a vice president. He's disrespecting his older brother. There's something bigger coming, not about being vice president, but what wrong with they picking because he think up there, I will deal with him. So, Linfo, I just want to throw that in.
Okay.
That's the traditional thing behind it as well.
Okay. Who want to? Mr. Dollar or Linfo? Go on.
No, let
Mr. Dollar, go on.
Thank you very much. As I said to you, to be realistic, I know I'm now in the manias, but I work with people that were in the leadership in the PRC government, that the majority of them from Nimba. I know how they behave. At that time, pre-Johnson, them all used to be behind the people as a bodyguard. Capital Bear in Nimba, that's the most troublesome Nimba County area. Capital Bear.
Okay. But where is this guy from? Mr. Dollar,
where is from Tabita? He's from Tabita area.
Wow, but what about the vice president?
The vice president from somewhere around Sanikole areas.
No, there's no
given. No, the Sanikole area, the Manobel.
No given from left.
I mean, I don't know where Kun come from,
no,
but
they can't come to it. Leave us, you know.
Yeah.
Is he from Kample?
Twitter is a between the
Twitter and
Mr. Dollar. Yeah, Twitter is. Listen to me.
I've been down there myself. If you say from Kample area, no, Twitter is a village. Twitter is not a town, man. Come on, let's talk to Mr. here.
Yeah, listen. Let me say something, Mr. Kamara. Twitter is a Tanamasi Crown area. The guys from Crown people there, the guys from Gil people there.
Oh, no.
You're missing out.
There's so many times. They don't have no Crown people there. Twitter is far. Twitter is far from Tapeta. Twitter is to the political grade.
No, Tapeta. Yeah, Twitter is far from Tapeta. I know that.
Yeah, but they don't have to remind some Crown people there. No.
Mr. Dollar, I think go check facts your story. That's not the story there. Go on. Tell me where you want to go on. Go on. We need to know where the honorable vice president is from. So
Kuka, but which I know, Kuka and Prince Johnson, all of them from the Tabita Bay. That's the area they come from.
But what they said that
the Nimba troublesome areas mostly is that Tabita Bay, that area there. People that are from there, they are very troublesome people, stubborn people. So the war booking now between Koga and Kun, I don't think he's going to end right now. He will continue to develop deeply until foreign. Even Thomas Jikwongba, all of them came from the Sintapeta area. All of them came from the Sintapeta area. So they are producing powerful Nimbanians in terms of military. Even this old man here too. Mojo Duopo, all of them came from that Sintapeta Bay. So that is the most troublesome area.
All right, then. Thank you.
So whatever Kuga is doing right now, it's not surprising me. I know he will do more than this.
Okay. I will hope they can settle this thing and put they can smoke the peace pipe. Even if they have political differences, they shouldn't go to the public. They are the two most powerful politicians now in Nimba. I mean, that we should be able to, that Nimba Kwado, I don't know where is Nimba Kwado. We need to see if they can come together. Nimba, we are one. And they need to sit down and discuss this thing. Even they had a few of political rifts. You should be able to discuss that. I was just talking about the Benin. Nimba has been on traditions, counties. I know is Alofa, Grand Jide, and other counties. Before something comes to the public, they always have a way of going down and talk about it into the society home or instead and discuss it before it comes to the public. I'm surprised up to now nothing has happened. So something's not right really going on right now in Nimba. So it's not good. It's not good for the country. It's not good for the political life of the country. You know, we had a vice president when Nimba came in. People were fighting for pushing one of the senators to go for one of the representatives to go for a job as a speaker. I think that's why I look at Musa Beye to go so Nimba can have upper hand in terms of 2029 election, and this is not going well. So I don't know. I will give you guys a chance to give me your takeaway comments, and before we can wrap up, we just want to, if you just joined us, this is the Bottom Line Liberia. Jamal Kamara is my name. Coming to you live from the middle of Central Europe, and we're discussing Liberia tonight. We're looking at some of the news spot that made headline in Liberia. The last topic tonight is the political rift between Jeremiah Cohn, the vice president, and the Senator Honorable Samuel Kwega. Linfo?
Yeah, you mentioned the traditional elders. I think those are powerful groups everywhere in Liberia, and I think in every country in Liberia, there's a different setup of the group. If you go to the Bassa people, they got their own, group 2. If you come to Bon County, it's even stronger. Moving to Nima County, and it's much more stronger. And Nima is also divided into 2 sections, the Mano and the Guild. So the Mano sector is stronger. And the reason why I say it's stronger is that they attach this traditional thing to their society. Like in Paso, they get their strong group, traditional group, but it's not compared to that of Pong and Nima County and Lofa. Okay?
Yeah,
those
that's
groups,
correct.
they're very strong.
Grand Judah as well, I think.
Yeah, if you remember, during the weird time, there was this problem that
title.
They didn't want in Lofa, they didn't want something was happening, and they had to pull the devil then down to the bridge. Okay, so this small thing they will bring out the traditional thing, but in Nima County, like you said, something is not right. And Prince Johnson, when he was he kept declaring himself as the godfather of Nima County. Not all of the people in Nima County agreed to that. I don't know which one of you remember, during the Weir time, there was this Prince Johnson, he had turned against Weir, he was now supporting Bwaka, and there was this woman that was very famous in the war time, Zobia.
Zobia, He's dead now.
His son or something. Okay. And that man, he came, he said, Prince Johnson made himself godfather of Liberia. Not all of the people, Nima, not all of us. You see, some of us, we got power. In the country, people respect us. So Prince Johnson just declared himself. So there has been a rift with this, power thing. That's what I said. It's a power struggle. And I don't know how they will end it, but the way it's going, where Koga is even threatening to open the secret that happened between him and one of on the capital building me, but the most interesting part waiting for
I think the police should be inviting him for that's
So who will invite him?
Police will never invite him.
They will not invite him. So they were the people who were instigating the thing. So whether they plan to point it now, but you see,
police will never invite him.
There's a way. Kama has his own way of making things to happen. Who told him to make that is indictment that if you
will go, it's on record. Yeah, it's on record.
So, but I just want to say thank you tonight, guys. It was good being here, and we hope to see you on Friday this week with a fresh edition of the program. This is the first edition for the month of September, and we hope that September is going to be a good month for us. Thank you all, and you all have a good night.
Mr. Dollar, what do you got to tell us?
This is my question. This is my crucial statement. I think the topic was very unique, and I appreciate more especially the last topic on this agenda tonight was the best one, and I'm very much impressed the way these guys they treat us as dealing with one another. So I'm really, really impressed on that. And I wish that they will continue to denigrate one another and more secret will come out. I believe so. Because they kept our countries, more especially quite recently, what they did, they carry on all kinds of unscrupulous activities that even led to the burning of our capital building. They caused so many harm for the peaceful citizens and innocent citizens of our country. So I don't have no regret of making this statement against the two young men. Both of them are traitors, they are criminal. They should be prosecuted. That's what I can say. Thank you very much.
Good, sir. Thank you. Yeah, Paul?
Well, gentlemen, I think it was a great show. I really enjoyed the show tonight. And to be honest, I'm going to play the tape afterward. On the international scene is something that to the viewers, if you have time, rewind this tape. It'll be fascinating that it's interesting now that the Western war against the global, what they call it, the global South. So it's interesting, and the level at which they are going. This is the reason why the West is now calling them the nation of scary, the axis of evil. So it's something that we look at. It's quite interesting that one man that have power today now, the power is slipping away, which is good for the entire world. And also Africa now is trying to take a step on having their own use. The Africa as a whole trying to use, they try to dump the dollars, which will be a good thing in the long run. So yes, regards to Liberia, I think the overhead bridge that the government tried to build, that initiated by George Weah, I think it's a good thing, but it's a missed priority. They have other things to do. Then to ease the traffic of Monrovia, they should consider building a bridge from 12th Street to Barnumsville. It's called the Cassidy Boulevard. And then have another bridge cross from Corwell across the St. Paul River that will connect Broadway, just in case the St. Paul Bridge falls. So overall, I think I'm happy that Samuel Coker and Jeremiah Cohn fighting, and I think they should continue the fight until 2029. So let NIMA be divided, so NIMA can have a say in making wise decision, or the group of people decide this is the way we're going. Look, in terms of number, Bond County has number, but the people from Bond County, they make sensible this. They don't go one side. Only this thing comes from Nima County. So I think the fight should continue. Let Nima have a say in a different way, so other political parties can benefit from Nima. So on that note, guys, it was a great show, and we shall be here on Friday. Have a pleasant good evening to all.
There you have it. If you just joined us and you've been with us, and you also left us, thank you for being with us. And those that have been with us throughout from the start of the program, was a big thank you. This has been the Bottom Line Liberia live discussions. My colleague Linford Egon Guer, live from Norway, called the Afro Viking. We got Paul the Lordship, the good friend of King Charles, and Mr. Dole, Maurice Yankuba Dole from Manchester as well. Paul from London. I'm Jamal Kamara, your servant, sitting here taking in control. I want to say a big thank you to you for being with us. Don't go away, please. When you will be with us on Friday, we will be here on the same platform, same time, to discuss the burning issues in Liberia and also around the world. I have a pleasure if you want to leave you with this from our good friend.
Thank you for being part of the Bottom Line Liberia live discussion. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our growing community. Be part of the conversation every Tuesday and Friday. That's 9 p.m. Central European Time, 8 p.m. UK time, and 7 p.m. Liberian time. Until next time, stay engaged, stay informed, and stay connected.
Clappy ENT, baby. Give me that. To my baby.